Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to Rogues Gallery Live. Welcome back, everybody. And like I said, this is Rogues Gallery Live. This is episode number 104, and we have a very, very special guest. This guy has been on the show a couple other times, but it is always an absolute pleasure, and known as one of the greatest sculptors on the planet that do all of these amazing things that we love to collect. And I'm talking about, of course, the one and only Mr. Daniel Bell. Hello, sir. Welcome to the show.
Hello, guys. Thank you so much for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, we're really glad to have you on the show. And like, we were talking about before the show is that our whole mission today is to kind of talk about the process of how you create this art, what inspires you. Because we've asked all those questions before, how you get started and, your art background and things like that. So today I kind of wanted to focus on just the actual art, like how you create it. And of course, you have a couple of pieces that blew me away at San Diego, and we'll talk about that here in just a second. So I can't wait to, dive into your brain a little bit and talk about the process with you. So anyway, welcome to the show. We also have Mr. Eric B. from All Things Art. Welcome, sir.
Hey, guys. Great to have Danny on the show tonight. So looking forward to that. And thanks for joining us tonight.
We also have right down here from the Secret Sanctuary, Mr. Jeff Delaney.
Hey guys, looking forward to the show. Should be a good one.
And we also have in the bottom center square, I guess tonight in a weird spot, we have Mr. Dan DeFall from Wayne Manor North. How's it going, Dan?
I'm doing great, everybody, and I am suddenly feeling the pain of Jeff Delaney from Secret Sanctuary being bounced around the grid.
See,
I am a stranger in a strange land. Oh my God!
Whoa! How about we put you over there? Is that weird?
Whoa.
Yeah, we'll put you over there. Anyway,
that's even more weird.
Yeah, let's just mix it up tonight. And then, of course, last but certainly not least, we have Mr. Jeff Morris in the house. Jeff 2.0. How's it going, Jeff?
I'm good. Hope everybody's doing well.
Doing great. Do you have one of your Roosevelt shirts today?
I do.
Let's see which one you got on today. It's awesome.
Oh,
awesome.
Disney villains.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
That's very cool. It's perfect for the return
of.
It's right.
Don't get much of him.
It's perfect for Halloween and the return of Phantasmic over at Hollywood Studios at Disney. So that was a cast preview last night. So that's exciting. And anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. Hope everybody's doing great in the chat. We've got 87 people watching already, 4 minutes in. So thank you guys very, very much for being here. Please hit the like button if you would do so. And again, if you have questions for Daniel Bell, there's certain questions, of course, I have to preface that he cannot talk about, things that he's currently working on with Sideshow, but obviously we can talk about his work that he's done to date. And, maybe any questions that you have otherwise, please make sure you ask in the chat. And gentlemen in the Rogues Gallery here, if you could kind of help keep me abreast of the maybe questions that you guys see and highlight those if I may miss them while we're doing screen share and things like that. So I do want to just share my screen real quick and see if you guys see this large here on the screen.
Yep.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Daniel's Art Station, which is, if you've never checked out Art Station, guys, you could spend hours on this checking out incredible art from incredible artists. And this is just, a sampling of some of the incredible pieces that people have added to their collection recently. There's been a lot of pieces that we featured here on the channel, and even some of the early work and stuff like that, which is really cool to see some of the older stuff as well. But if you haven't had a chance, definitely check it out. I know our good friend Jeff Morris just recently picked up Doom.
Yep.
So you have the artist right here, Jeff. What do you think about having this piece in your collection?
I love him. He's great. He's very classic.
Such a large piece.
He's huge.
Yeah, such a large piece.
Do you have it there?
Do what?
Do you have it there in your shelf? I can see it.
I do.
Yeah.
Right up there.
There you go.
Let me go.
It's huge, man.
I think we asked you this once before, but do you usually get the chance to see these in person? Daniel?
I have every single one on my house, but I don't. I think you get it first than me.
Okay.
Because I'm in the south of the world. I'm in Argentina, so everything takes some time to get here. But yes, I have my statues, but not before. I mean, we can see early pictures of the entire production since the day one, of course. But pictures, and if I sometimes when I go there at Sideshow, yes, you can see it because you can see how the production start, how they paint it, and you can have conversations with the entire team, and it is a interesting process to see it from from the gray colors to the fully painted version. But that's the only chance I have. I mean, if I go there, I have the chance to see it in person. Otherwise, it's just through photos or until I got my my copy.
Okay.
Do you have them displayed?
Yeah, but I have it there. I have a few because I already packed a few of them. Those spaces you can see there is because tomorrow I'm flying to a convention we have here in a place. It's called San Luis. They're going to do a Comic-Con, and I sent like a 6 or 6 statues to be up there with me in the with the table, and so people can see it and we can talk about it and stuff like that. But
Nice.
yeah, I have a few. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's cool.
I love the way you have the lighting. It's really cool with the light shining up
thank
on
you,
it.
man.
It looks really good.
Thank you.
We talk about that all the time of how hard it is to display these things sometimes, and making sure it's a
Man.
proper space to display them so it really shows off the art. Do you have a favorite at this point that you've done? Like, is there a top 2 that you really just think, man, that's my favorite one I've done?
I think I think I always say the same. My favorite is Thor. I really like Thor. When I see it, it's like I think it was a kind of turning point on my career because it was the first time I had the chance to suggest something different to Sideshow, and they allowed me to do it. And because the first 2 were Captain America and then Daredevil, which they were a little bit more conservative in terms of the pose, more kind of museum poses. And in the past, I came from companies or places in where I was used to work with dynamic poses and stuff like that, and I wanted to try. So I tried with Thor, and I think people really like it, and I think that allowed me to keep doing more and suggesting more and more since that point. But from the new pieces, I think I don't have it right now with me. But Carnage is a piece that every time I see photos or just pictures of the prototype, it's like something is growing in me. It's like I really like it. I enjoyed a lot working on that statue because I put a lot of time working on the anatomy. I think the last time that it was in your show, I can't remember if we talk about Carnage. But I spent a lot of time doing all the anatomy as I never did it before in all the statues. I mean, I work on the anatomy of all my statues, all my pieces, but not at that level. I did every single striation of the muscles to later just break all the piece into kind of tendons or kind of, I don't know, monstrosity thing to get that kind of style of I don't know, kind of monster surface of the skin or whatever. And when I see the whole thing, the whole composition I really, really like it. So I could say maybe Carnage is good. But the other day in the Sideshow Con, I saw again the Batman Dark Knight light up,
Yeah.
and I said, wow, that looks awesome. With the lighting bulb in the back and all with the lights on, it looks really, really cool. And actually I asked, it looks like that. I mean, so bright. I said, oh yeah, it is bright. So, oh man, it was. I remember I was in a meeting, and I asked to turn off the lights and just leave the bulb on, and you can see the whole silhouette, and it reminds me, of course, to the cover of Frank Miller, Frank Miller's cover, which was my biggest inspiration to make that piece, of course.
Yes.
And it felt so good because it's like you can display in three different ways: with lights on, with lights off, and with everything off in your room and that light on, and it's still transmitting something to you. And that's the main thing for every single piece I do, to transmit something to the people who is seeing it, to those who have it. Or maybe if you don't have it, just you go to an event, you see it there, and you can see it and take some photograph and then see it later. I think that's the magic of these statues. It's yeah. But I think that those statues are maybe my top selection.
That's awesome. And I say about the Dark Knight, I said the great thing about it is it makes one hell of a great nightlight. For sure. It's like, how great is that in the room? And I do want to get to that piece here in just a minute. But you were talking about Carnage. And I know Jeff Delaney and I were at San Diego and we were filming the booth. And I think Jeff will concur. Seeing the three, and I called it the Argentinian connection because, of course, it is Guillermo Barbiero. And, of course, we have Martin Canale and yourself. And, Martin actually reached out to me during the show and he was talking, and Martin's been on Jeff's show as well. And it's just really exciting to, he messaged me and said, how cool is it that, all of these artists are from Argentina, and it's just so neat that the three came together, and I think they look so awesome. Jeff, what was your experience seeing those three together like that? I thought it was awesome.
It's something that just kind of reminds me how awesome it is to be able to go to a convention and see them in person, because pictures are great, but when you're actually seeing it right in front of you and you get the full 3D effect, it's like the statues just come to life. And that's what happened with those pieces.
It really did. What does it mean to you to have those three come together like that with, your fellow brothers? So I think that's awesome.
It is crazy, when you think in that way. I mean, three people from the same country, working from their houses for maybe the biggest company in the world of collectibles, and doing these beautiful things. It's a kind of a dream job, because every time we met, like Martin and Guillermo, it's like, dude, it's just not cool. I mean, to be in the same country working for another country doing three pieces that they're going to be displayed at the same time, and receiving messages from the people that are talking exactly about that, how cool it is to have three Argentinian artists working in things that you can display all together if you want. It is really cool. Honestly, it's awesome, and to see it in person, as you said, is totally different. One statue I remember that when I finished it, I said, it's okay, could be better. And then when I received it, it was like wow, it is really huge. Is the Colossus you have in your back? It's that one is one of my faves too, because it's a simple statue, but it is kind of imponent. I don't know exactly what it is, but I have a few collector friends here in Argentina and other places who told me, Danny, when you release that statue, when Sideshow releases that statue, I didn't like it at first. Then I saw it in a convention, and I said, I want it. I don't know what happened, but it is true. I think that's the magic of these events, that you can see and you can see with your own eyes, and you can decide. Nowadays, we're too used to see reviews, right? And which I saw reviews all the time. I watch reviews from almost anything. If you want to buy a phone, reviews of a phone. You want to play a video game, reviews of a game. If you want to watch any movie in the theater, and you don't know which one is better, go to reviews.
Yep.
But I think it's still a matter of taste, personal taste. So, but the things you love or you like maybe are not the same for others, and that's why I was missing to have these statues in one place or different places so people can take their own decisions, maybe based on what they saw, what they heard. Yeah, man, I'm really happy about this connection with my fellow colleagues, and to be able to do these things is crazy.
It's just so awesome. Any chance, I got Jeff and I had a chance to hang out all weekend at San Diego with Guillermo Barbiero, which was so much fun. Any chance we might get you at San Diego this year, maybe?
This year isn't possible, but I will try to make it by next year.
Okay.
Yeah. This year is going to be. It is by December?
No, it's January. It's July of 2023.
July.
Oh, okay. So next year.
Yeah, next year. Yeah, July.
Yeah. Probably. I would love to go there. Yeah. 100%. Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
I think I went on 2018 or 17. I can't remember. Then this freaking pandemic came and
changed everything, right?
Changed everything. Yeah,
it did. Well, I think Jeff and I are planning on both being there again this year. So fingers crossed. We would love to meet you there and hang out a little bit. That'd be incredible.
Would be awesome.
Be awesome. And so that brings us to a couple of pieces that just blew me away. And that was the Dark Knight Returns piece that you mentioned already. And then, of course, the brand new Joker as well. I couldn't have ordered that quick enough. I was ready day one to order that. A lot of people wait these days, for in hand, but I couldn't wait. And what really sold it was seeing it in person. And again, it comes down to like that wow factor of, yes, photos look great, but until you see it, sometimes you're like, just whoa, this thing looks great. Because at first, to be honest, like I was like, I wasn't wowed by the base at first. But then when I saw it in person, I'm like, I get it. It works. Everything looks great. And I couldn't, like I said, I couldn't wait to order it. And I think it all looks so great.
What do you think did it change for you when you seen it in person from the photos?
I don't know if maybe the photos made it look kind of like made the base look askew, or the colors were different or something, but everything worked whenever you saw it in person. Jeff, did you agree with me on that? Like, it just felt like it worked as a piece. Yeah.
Well, you're at a disadvantage because you're not a big fan of that book. So the statue has to be good enough that it surpasses the art. And I think they did that for you.
Oh, I was talking about the Joker base.
Oh, the Joker. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the frame.
Yeah, I was talking about the Joker base. What surprised me the most about the Dark Knight Returns was, holy crap, how big it is.
Oh yeah.
Like it doesn't come across that way in photos, but whenever you see it in person, it's like, wow, this thing is massive. It is awesome. It has such incredible presence to it. And, the lightning bolt was on, and I just blown away. And I think you felt the same way. You're like, whoa, this thing is big. It's really impressive.
Yeah. And both pieces got probably equal attention. People were really excited about both of them. Yeah,
they were two big time standouts for me at the show. And I don't know, I was blown away by it. What was it like tackling that Dark Knight Returns piece? Let's start with that one. Like, what was that? Did you come up with the idea, or did Sideshow approach you and say, hey, we would like you to do this piece? How did that first happen?
No, I didn't come with that idea. I think I can't remember because it was a year and a half ago, probably, or even more. But usually, we have kind of two ways to start a project. It is, or we say, I want to make this, I don't know, Batman or Flash or whatever you want. And if you push too hard, sometimes it is not maybe the best smart choice. But if you say maybe in the right moment, and there is a spot available for that project, because maybe you just release a Batman, or I don't know, or that piece a couple months ago, and they don't want to, or they think it's not smart to do another again.
Sure.
But at that time, they were looking for, you know, a Batman, a Miller's Batman, and I say, okay, I want it. I mean, I don't care what kind of Batman it is. I pretty want it, because I did two actually. I did Batman Beyond.
Yes.
And I did a Batman bust, but most people were saying, "Dude, just put some legs on that bust,"
Yeah, right.
because we need it." And it's, oh man, you know how hard I would try, but when that project they say, "Okay, yeah, Danny, you can do it." So we started thinking with Richard Long. We usually work together most of the time with Richard. He's an amazing concept artist, and we talk about what was the best. But we always pitch a couple ideas. So it's not just one. Could be 8 or 10 different poses. Richard is really good drawing poses and doing quick sketches. And
you're talking about Richard Luong, right?
Richard Long.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he is very cool.
Yes.
And so I think we pitched couple. I think actually that one was different, you know, because it is something happened when you work in an artistic job like this. You can choose something that you're 100% sure about that time that is going to be awesome. But then when you start working on it, and you see it in 3D, in the 3D world, you know, at least in digital. But you can rotate it, you can see it, you can zoom in, zoom out. Maybe you start tweaking it, or adding or deleting some stuff because maybe it's not working. But at that time, I think he pitches something similar. It was a pose because you can see the poses with the hand like that, with the other hand on the back, on the cape floor, whatever. But I think the base was a little bit different. And then we start talking about how we can do it or add more things to help to the storytelling of the piece. So Tom, one of the owner, Tom Gilliland, he's a creative chief. He's a very creative guy. And we started talking about how we can make it cooler. And I think I make some drafts and say, okay, maybe we can go this way. But I think that changed a little bit, like 2 or 3 times more, because the base wasn't. It was different. You know, it was more. I think it was more simpler. I can't remember exactly, but I think I changed it a couple times, and then we came with this idea of having Joker. A different kind of Joker, more like a gargoyle version of Joker, symbolizing the evilness, let's say, of him. And then one part of the face will be broken because of that lightning bolt, and the other half of the face will be like no damage at all. Like trying to say this ambiguity, you know, they have both characters. They needed each other. They want to kill each other, but at the same time, if someone dies, someone will feel a little bit alone. Let's say
it's that duality, of good and evil,
duality,
black and white. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's duality, and I think I started from that, let's say, that idea, and then the piece started becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, because we say, what if the bolt is an actual lightning bolt? And I said, no, man, it's too huge. We can't do that. And then that's the cool thing, because since day one, that piece wasn't like that. It changed. And it changed. The cool thing is, because you're just throwing ideas. Doesn't matter how crazy they are, you know. And because you have to take into consideration two things, important things. We always do. One is the price point, and the other, it is to be able. I mean, you have to put it in a shelf, right? I mean, you don't need to build a new house to put a statue. It's just you have to fit.
Some of us do.
Well, that's true. I can see your background.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it should fit. I mean, it's a big piece, but it's still fitting in a place in your house at least.
Right. Absolutely.
And with those two variables, you have to play a little bit to not make it, because we can do whatever we want, but the piece is going to cost $4,000, and you will need to rent a new house to display it. So it's not a smart idea.
Exactly.
So I think we tweak it as much as we can, and we play with the piece as much as we can, and then until we said, okay, I think this could work. From there, it is a normal process of working. It is just stage by stage. We are working in something more. Let's say we are refining the pose. We are changing a little bit, distributing the weight, because one thing is to say, okay, we are going to have a Batman in the middle of a lightning bolt in a small base. That's it. Well, you have to test it. You have to be sure that it's not going to fall. It's not going to go anywhere. So during that process, you have to change some, let's say, part of the composition sometimes. Not every time. When you work in something really complex, you have to find the proper balance between a nice composition and to make possible, to make that statue possible to produce, right? And again, a fair cost and a fair volume size. And because you have to think in a shipping box at the same time, you have to. It's more big. It is maybe 2 boxes, or one huge box. It depends. There are many things we have to think before, or during the process, better say. Because before we don't put too many obstacles. Because if not, you start just thinking in small things. We prefer to think of that later. Once the piece is a little bit. Maybe in the middle or the first quarter, because you can take decisions from that point to make the production easier. For example, the cape. The cape is something we talk a lot with the team. It should be sculpted or it should be fabric. Fabric, of course, is let's say. It will cost less. It will make the statue to fit better in any kind of shipping box, because you can just put it whatever you want. And for certain statues, it is better because it will help to distribute the weight in a better way. But for all the statues, you can't, let's say, you can't leave to the collector to pose by themselves, because this piece should be posed by a particular way. Otherwise, you're breaking a little bit the composition, Yep. There are some capes that it doesn't matter. You can put it in a way you want. But if the character is falling down in, let's say, in a diagonal direction, the cape should do something like that. And those swirls and crazy stuff, sometimes they are not realistic, but it doesn't matter, because it should look nice instead of realistic. Because when you want to do something really, let's say, that it looks like real life, you're missing some stuff. That's why sometimes when you see in a movie a character with all the suit, with all the things putting on, it doesn't work, because it is something that is happening in the real world. That's why you can see all the capes in the movies, the big capes, they are animated. depending on the shots, right? But they do it in 3D so they can flow with the wind properly and nicely done. Well, this is kind of the same thing. And well, the paint then with Bernie did an amazing job with the paint. We wanted to, if you have, I mean, we want to make you the chance that if you don't want to make this display with the lights on and the lights off, the paint is catching some of the light. I've already painted on the statue as if we were on.
That's awesome.
Can I ask you a question about the engineering of that statue? Because it is so dynamic, and he's just held up by like, you know, this skinny lightning bolt. So were they able to like run like some type of like metal rod throughout that entire lightning bolt, or how was that done? Do you know how they constructed it?
Honestly, I don't know, because some of that process they do directly on China if they think they need it. I mean, the piece, we always have the same concern, but it's not a concern anymore since a couple of years ago, because all the latest statues we do define the gravity, let's say, we didn't have any single issue. So I think they do an amazing job with the production. So I don't know if they put it a metal rod, because if we put a metal rod,
Yeah, it also has the light up feature, so it's like
you I think you're going to see it.
Yeah.
I think they choose a different material. I think it's not so slim. I think it's very thick.
Okay.
I mean, I remember the guys having in the hands the bolt, and it is a thing like this. It looks like a sword. So I don't think you're going to have any issue with like leaning issues or breakages or stuff like that. I'm 100% sure.
One thing I was really impressed with, and I think this photo right here really captures it, and I really noticed it in person, was just the level of texture on the suit. I mean, it's just gnarly, and it's just awesome. How important is that, getting that texture right? Because I feel like it really captures the spirit of the character. It's just I think this is some of the best texture work I've ever seen.
Oh, thank you, man. I think for this character in particular, it was very important to have these textures like this. You know, I mean, rough, damage, very, let's say, I mean, I think rough is the best word, because he's a rough character. He's an old guy. He's damaged. He's with blood in his mouth, and I think in the knees and different parts of his body. So I think I put a lot of time on the texture of the entire thing, because you can see the cape. In the cape, you're going to find many small details, or in the seams. Some part of the seams are open or partially opened, and damages in the knees and all the texture work. For example, on the gloves, you can see the pass of the time and the usage. That's something that I put a lot of attention, because I want to sometimes, or most of the time, to tell a story with the statue. At the first sight, you're going to just see a statue. It is Batman. Yeah, but it's not the regular Batman. He fought a lot. He was wearing this suit in many fights for a long time, and you can see how the leather, it is different at the fingertips, in the knuckles, and in the places. All those wrinkles, scissors and folds are done. It's called memory folds when you bend any part of your body a couple times. You're going to see always a wrinkle that is there. Well, those tiny wrinkles are there, and I push really hard, more than usual, on the print, so you can see it in the statue. Because in the renders you can easily see it, because it is a digital file, and you can zoom in and you can take nice shots. but when you in production, you're going to lose some of that, let's say, detail, because it isn't part of the process. You know, you can't, at least not at the moment, you can hold every single detail during the entire production if you don't push a little bit more. And when I'm saying push, it is go deeper, just a little bit more. If you, for example, if you have, I think Jeff have in his bag a Captain America, and if you can touch his, I think the pants, you can see how deep is the texture of the pants. I actually remember when they were presenting the statue, they said, "Oh, this is mixed media," and I said, "No, it's all sculpted." Oh, I didn't know, she said, because it looks like fabric. You go deep, just a little bit deeper than regular, and you are going to get those crisp details. It's not easy because you have to do some tests, and think in the future how much, what kind of percentage you're going to lose. So it's not math, but it is try and error. We did a lot of tests for this statue in particular to get the texture as you saw it in the con.
I would imagine that the paint also fills up some of that texture. So when you're sculpting it, you probably sculpt the textures a little bit deeper. This way, when it gets painted, it still shows up a little bit.
Yeah. They do a process called, I think, wash out or something like that. I don't know much about paint, but they do some washing. They put some. I think it makes to pop up much more the deepness, and they do a lot of handwork to just highlight some areas, and they would more darker or more lighter. It helps a lot. I remember, I think it was with the Hulk Gladiator, Casey Love, he was painting that one, and when he said, "Danny, thank you." I said, for what? For how good the textures are on the Gladiator, because I don't have to do too much work. I mean, it's just, I mean, when I want to pop up something, I just do some washes, and it really helps a lot. So since that moment, I started pushing a little bit harder those textures. Not too much, because it looks, sometimes if you go too deep, it will look weird. You have to find the balance between don't losing your volume, the surfaces, because if you go too deep, you're going to miss the anatomy. Yeah. And that's something you don't want, because it started looking kind of weird. And if you go too light, when you see the renders, you see, oh, it looks awesome. Then you see the print, and it doesn't look so awesome. So it is a fine tuning.
Yeah. Well, it's really interesting because we've talked off and on, especially like sometimes portraits, they feel like they're softened, and I think that. Especially like what you're talking about with the renders, it's really interesting to hear you talk about that. Just that obviously there may be some of the face sculpts sometimes would have a little bit less detail. Obviously this one's got a ton because of everything going on with the chin and the blood and everything else. But I really appreciate you talking about that, because I didn't know that was the thing with talking about the deepness of the detail.
Oh yeah.
So that's really cool. Don't you guys think that's really cool to hear?
Sure. It is awesome.
Yeah, it's really, really awesome. Is this working out for you, Daniel, to do it this way, or do you want to take over and show the Joker, or is this working out to do it this way through these photos?
As you want. If you want me to share some screen and
let's just do that, so then you can kind of go and talk about how you want to do. So again, that's the Dark Knight Returns, and then I also want to focus a little bit on the incredible Joker, which again I'm just so incredibly excited about. So this is Daniel's screen here, and he can. Talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, well, I think we can sort of hold the face, right?
Yes.
This portrait and the Batman's portrait, I think it was really cool to work on it, because they are a little bit old, and when you have not all like a 90 years old guy, but I mean when you have wrinkles in the faces, when you have something, it makes your work more interesting, way more interesting. I mean, for example, if you work in a female face, or in a I don't know, in a male character with really smooth face and you don't want to add any pores because, let's say, a Superman face, for example. Those characters are more, let's say, stylized, so you can't go crazy. You can't. But with this one and Batman and maybe other, I don't know, but no, I would want to say Bane, but Bane is wearing a mask. Yeah. You can go really, really crazy. And that's what I did for this character. For this one, it's not just about details. I think it's more about the expression. And this is something I was working a lot, and I took many, many inspirations. But one in particular, it is from a movie. It's called The Man Who Laughs. Mm-hmm. And it is an old movie. It is written by Victor Hugo, which is a very important French writer.
Yes.
He worked on, I don't know how to say in English, but I think it's Les Miserables. Well,
We just call it Les Mis.
The plate. Okay. And many other plates and movies and books. And I remember. Let me see if I have a picture of that man in particular. Oh yeah, I have it here. Can you see this?
Yep.
Conrad.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So this face, it was so creepy, and the expression and all the things is transmitting, and this expression just, I don't know, it just captivated me, and I didn't want to go like just the classic Joker, because one thing I usually do it is to see, or at least try to look for every single statue out there, every single statue. Sometimes I miss some of them because they're old or kind of unique, or maybe not well known. But one thing I do it is I don't want to copy something that already existed and make it, let's say, better. No, I just want to try something new. And it's hard. It is really hard because it's hard to create something new, even more if you take in consideration this character, which is, I mean, how many people, how many artists have been working with this face and these proportions? A lot. But at the same time, I want to represent something that you can clearly see it and say, okay, yeah, this is a Joker I want. It's a little bit darker, but I still want it. Because I think that's Joker. It is all these weird things in his head, and even if you take a look to the hair looks more. It looks like alive, let's say, like little snakes all around, like a crumbling, and it's kind of dirty. So it has a dirty hair and a crazy hair. And with all the paint, like almost, you can see his skin tones. I think you can see his skin. Yeah, well, some of his skin tones behind all the teeth. Not 100% like a perfect, but still big. The nose. I mean, clearly comic proportions. This is not a realistic approach, right? But at the same time, you can see all the features taken from the real world, like the ears, or the nose, or whatever. Maybe the mouth is the only thing you're not going to see in the real life. But that's okay, because this is a comic character, so that's fine. And if you push a little bit harder, the expression and in the whole sense, so for example, the eyes, I remember I didn't want to have. I was working on this, and I put some regular eyes, and I said something is like off. I mean, he's looking at me, but it's not looking at me at the way I want. So I was looking for references of eyes with some, I don't know, some medical issues, and I found some eyes with, I don't know how to call in English, but it's kind of falls when you're going to almost get blind,
Yeah.
and your eyes you're going to lose your pupils, start getting smaller.
Kind of gets
And-
milky, a little bit milky.
Yeah, a little bit milky. But
Yeah.
That's right. And I said, okay, maybe I have to try this. And when I shrink down the pupils and did it more milky, I think I got what I wanted. Because otherwise, he was going to look too, let's say, not too creepy. And I want to make it really, really creepy as I could. And this is exactly how it looks. And I remember when I saw the first pass of the paint, I said, "Oh man, yeah, that's what I was thinking all the time." And
Was this the only portrait you sculpted, and you're like, okay, I nailed it, it's perfect? Because I noticed they didn't do an exclusive for this statue. Was there any like talk
That's a
about
good
No.
point.
doing something different?
No. We never thought in any exclusive for this statue. Since the beginning was just this one. I know that some people was saying, oh yeah, he was going to have a different hand or whatever. No, honestly, I didn't want it because and this is something about the exclusive that maybe we can talk about it if you want.
Sure, absolutely.
But for me, and I respect 100% what you think or most people want about to have multiple exclusives, But sometimes I think, and that you don't have to. You don't need an exclusive to make a statue better. You know what I mean? It is because when I'm thinking on these statues, I can think sometimes yes, you can because it is a character that is could have some gadgets or whatever. But if I'm planning to do something to make you play at your own, it's hard for me because it takes away the storytelling. I have to think in more, let's say, more things that it fits in the same world. And for example, this statue, one cool thing I was working on, and again, Richard Wong was the one in charge of the concept of this statue. The concept was pretty similar. It was almost the same. I just changed a couple of things. But one cool thing it is, let's say for example, you change this hand, and you can have the option to put many things. Well, it's not going to have the same weight. To transmit it exactly the same, because maybe this is a crowbar with the one that killed Robin, or maybe he is about to kill him, or he just killed him. I don't know. Whatever. I mean, it is your story, But if I change it, it's a different thing, And I think more options you add, I think you are. Making it more, let's say, less unique, at least to my eyes, because when I think that all these statues come from the Asian artists, like for example, I don't know, let's say Gian Lorenzo Bernini or Michelangelo or Donatello, whatever, they sculpt the statues for people. They didn't do exclusive versions, you can change the hand of I don't know. Let's any of the statues. It is like it is. What's that?
I was joking. I said half of them were missing limbs and arms and stuff.
Yeah. But I mean, it is. I know this is not a classic statue. It is a different approach. I know, of course. But every time I can, I just push to not make exclusives. So I'm sorry, it's me, because I think we should put more attention in make something more unique, something that you can tell a story without losing any parts. That if you change that away, it's not going to tell you the same that I was having in my mind. Yes, you can change for example, a different head, and you can make a more classic head or more, I don't know, realistic head. But it's not the same because the entire body is telling you a different thing. The pose is telling another story. The base is telling a different story. So I think it's case by case. But in this one, I thought or I felt that we didn't need as an exclusive. And of course, it's not just me. It is an entire team behind that supports or not that idea, right? So don't hate me. I mean, just me. It's an entire team.
I don't think anybody's hating you. I was just curious as to why, like maybe you just, like I said, like you felt like this is the one, this is my vision of the statue, and that's the way it's going to be. We don't need any other portrait or accessory.
I'll just concur. I really like that you kind of stick to your guns and say this is the story that I want to tell. I mean, the best thing about this, and I don't know if everybody's noticed it about the statue, but there's so much bait and switch going on with this piece, where he's got his hand out with the buzzer, but he's got the crowbar behind him, and then there's explosives down below. It's like there's so many things going on that clearly the Joker is trying to get you to focus on one thing, but there's two or three other things in play at the exact same time. And that's what I think is genius about this piece, and the fact that it has so much storytelling elements going on, just like you said. So I'm glad that you stuck to your guns and there is just one central storytelling element, because clearly you captured a great deal of story in this one piece.
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, I think sometimes, as I said, it's case by case. When we were working on Colossus, some of the team approached me and said, I think a cool element could be Lucky, that is just in his shoulder, but we don't have to change anything. The piece is still there, and if you want it, just put it on his shoulder. It's not going to change anything. And I think it makes total sense, and that's okay, because you don't want to remove the entire body and change the direction when you're looking. The lower legs are looking to a different direction, and that's okay if any other company or any other artist want to do it and people love it because it's okay. I think we have options, and that's cool to have options, to buy, to collect, whatever. But I don't think the piece is going to be better because of the exclusive. If that's the case, I think we have failed in some part of the process. And that's my point of view, but you can agree or not. That's why I always try to put more emphasis and time, and spend a lot of time doing all these pieces and thinking, or at least with the idea of, I don't need any extra thing to make it better. Because if that's the case, I'm failing in something that I'm not seeing it, And again, some pieces, some statues, it's cool to have. I don't know. I remember, and there was a cool touch. I remember for Flash, we just have a different pair of the how do you call it, the wings of the mask. So one were more classic and the were more let's say more modern, and that's cool. I mean, it's not affecting the statue. It's not affecting the storytelling or anything. It's just something you can add or not. Didn't cost almost nothing for us, so we put it there. And there are other, I can't remember, but there are a few. But usually, if something comes from my hands, I'm sorry, but probably it's not going to have exclusive.
I have a question. I was wondering if you could show me. I see one of there's the lower half, like the hip down picture, and it's very angular, and I love the length of the legs and how contorted he kind of is. Can you tell us about what your thinking was about how you designed the pose? Because I love that curve and how contorted he looks. I think it's just really different and really unique.
Okay, thank you, man. Well, this was an idea of Martin Canale. Martin Canale is he loves Joker. As you say, he did the OG Joker.
Yes, he did.
I think one of the best of the market by far.
Yep.
And I remember he sent me a couple pictures of how do you call it, buffoons, Joker. I don't know, those the people who was making the kings just laugh. It's Joker, right? Or Buffon? We call Buffon, right? And they were really with a lot of contortion on the legs and the hands, like doing a lot of stuff, and I think it was a cool idea to have some of that in the body to break the symmetry and to add a little bit more interest. And at the same time, if your hip is going to a different direction from the center of your body, you can play with the other legs, So I tried a pose, and it was kind of hard, but I try and
You
it
did it.
worked.
You did it physically. You did it yourself.
Oh yeah,
That's cool.
I will always do the poses physically.
That's
Some
awesome.
poses is hard to do, but for most of the cases, I try and tell my wife to take me pictures of me doing the poses, and,
That's
and
cool.
it's a good reference. Yeah,
That's great.
it's good. Yeah, I mean, it is fun, but with that you can take it to see if it's working or not. Sometimes it is too awkward, and it's no, it's not going to work. But I mean, it's Joker, so he can do. I mean, it makes him look more funny and dangerous at the same time, because I don't know if you noticed, but he's about to touch this button in the
Yes.
base that is going to cause something, right? And if the legs were different, probably the entire statue is going to look, I don't know, maybe not too funny, because it's a mixture of being funny and being weird, awkward, and that's exactly Joker, right? And exactly the same with the pose of the shoulders. The shoulders are almost 45 degrees if you cross a line. If you make a line here, it's
Yep.
almost 45 degrees, and that is allowing me to put that the head between his shoulders, like he was kind of shy, but he's hiding something, and not just behind me in his mind. Like it's like I'm telling you, it's safe. Just take my hand, and this is the funny thing, because I mean, you can clearly see that it's going to cause any damage with that. But the real damage is going to, I mean, it's everywhere. It is this kind of bomb. It is a crowbar, and I mean, it is. There are multiple things that are happening in the statue at the same time, and the pose and those funny legs allow me to express all of that in a nice composition. Because when you see it from different angles, you can see different things. It's not let's say symmetrical, and I think that's something. When you work in something that it is so dynamic, even if it's not jumping or I don't know, smashing something like Hulk, but it's still something dynamic to work on. It is so. I think it motivates me even more to spend more time, and that's something cool about working at Sideshow, that they allow me to spend as much time I need to make the piece as best as I could. And this thing they're not possible if you don't have time to try it, because most of the time I do things that you never see it because it didn't make it. I mean, it's not working, so I change it all the time. I changed it. I think this pose, I think it was pretty straightforward. I tried. Of course, you have to tweak it many times, and actually sometimes you could be spending like I don't know, 2-3 months. You're almost there, and I changed the pose a little bit more, and it is a pain in my brain because I have to change a lot of things, but at the same time I was not going to sleep well if I knew that I could do it better, even with the small changes. Some small changes makes a chain reaction, you have to, if you modify the hips, you have to change the suit, a lot of things, but sometimes it's worthy, and sometimes you do it and it didn't work and I have to go back again. But I think this is the magic of working in digital, for example, that you can do many things that like a couple of years ago when we worked on just clay, it was way more hard, more difficult to do changes during the process, and sometimes because it was so complicated and you have to do it all again, you decide to say you said, no, I would pass. Maybe the next one. I will try the next statue because I will not going to do the whole head again, the whole hand again, the whole suit, whatever. Now we have this possibility, so kind of cool.
Well, it's just so incredible to see the process of what we're seeing here. Do you guys in the panel? Do you guys have any questions about Dan's sculpting process?
I would just say I took the pose of this piece as his pose is as deformed as his mind.
That's cool.
You know?
That's cool.
It really captures the maniacal nature of the character. The way, like you said, he's contorted. He is, like you said, he's shy, but he's getting ready to kill you. I mean, there's so much going on with the pose. And I just feel like, yes, he's contorted because he is deranged. He is the Joker. And this is exactly what you expect from him. And I love that you describe this as dynamic, because it's not a simple straight up and down, pose. And I'm just so impressed with how you captured the character with this one. I just feel like it really showed how demonic he is, and in the face especially, but the body contortion also. I mean, obviously, I think with any statue, the focal point is the face sculpt, and that's I think that's where your eye immediately goes. If the face sculpt's good, then you continue to look down the rest of the figure, and knowing that how good the face sculpt is mixed with how contorted the body is, to me, it just absolutely works as a piece.
Thank you, man. Thank
Okay,
you. You're going.
Okay. No, being you do work in grayscale, does color ever come into play and change the way maybe you do something, or is there somebody within the company that can do you colors like renders really quick, so you could just see how it's going so far and make changes if you need to?
Everything you see here, it is in colors, but I have to put in black and white because the color is not going to represent the final product, and we can have some issues there.
As you're designing,
all the time, since the first moment, I do colors.
That's interesting.
Oh yeah, 100%. And that's something that I think some people at Sideshow, some artists, I think Will Harbottle and a few others, they started doing since. I remember the first time I was in Sideshow. I was working, I think it was on Daredevil. And I think Will approached me and said, "What you doing?" I'm working Daredevil. Yeah, but what is on colors? What do you mean? Yeah, what are you painting? I mean, if they're not going to use that paint. And I said, I can't. I can't do it without paint, because I have to see how it's going to be, and sometimes it depending of how of the tones you're choosing. Sometimes you have to put more emphasis on textures in certain places and on other places not. And this is an interesting process. And then some people at Sideshow started painting the statues during the process, as Martin as well. And I think I found that really important, because if the final sculpt is going to be black and white, okay, I get it, you don't have to. But it's going to be like this, painted, you have a couple of advantages. First, you're going to give to the painter artist some paint guide. They know what tones are going to be useful or are going to work, let's say. And I think it's cool to know how it's going to look, because sometimes if you, let's say for example, if your hair or you're making the entire statue in gray, when you see it painted, you said, I don't know, it looks a little bit different, especially with the faces. The faces looks always different. But if you paint it during the process, you said, it looks pretty close as what I thought, what I was thinking, And it is the same with the photos. You can put some lights and do some renders with shadows and do some, shadow working. And then you can send that to, in this case, Janet or Casey, which are they are the photographers of Sideshow. They're awesome and very open and very receptive. And sometimes they say, okay, well, I want to try that in the real world and see what happened. So I think painting the statue and then playing with the lights and shadows will not only help you to sculpt better details or to see how it's going to look. If not, you're helping two departments, the paint and the photo. So I think it's kind of cool. Actually, in the past, the sculptors way let's say, centuries ago when they didn't have electricity. They used a candlelight to to see all the imperfections, all the surfaces, the volumes on the statues, and they help with that to sculpt to do what they're doing, to add more detail, to put less detail. I think all the features of painting and using light and shadows are really, really helpful to make this piece better.
Yeah. And even in the final statue, I think the lighting plays an important role. Just it helps, like I said, the lighting helps bring out the highlights and the shadows, and it really does change the statue when you have lights on.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, if you take, for example, these two images and you put it close, one is both are the same faces, but this one has a different light position, and you can see some of these mid shadow casting in the middle of the face, and it's causing you even creepier. You can play with that, and if it's not working, but at the same time, you can cast a shadow and you say, oh, I'm losing the eyes. So then you can change the eyebrows or whatever that is blocking you, the eyes. And so it is a great tool, not only to make a presentation, to sculpt as well. I use it all the time. Actually, I can show you some of the. I think I have. This is a personal project.
This is awesome. Yeah. So basically, what this is, if you guys don't know, this is a program called ZBrush, and it's a very, very popular program to sculpt in. And so Daniel is going to give us kind of a live sculpt here, so we can kind of see, maybe how you add texture, how you add, tone or whatever to a piece. And so thank you for taking us into your studio like this. This is awesome.
Oh man, that's no problem. It's cool. Sometimes it's better to show than explain with words. And this is actually my personal trainer. He's a guy who is how's it called? He do photos for artists. As a live
a model, like
a model, live model. Yeah, he's a live model, and actually he is giving me some. I do some working out with him. He's a very nice guy, and when I was taking some classes of anatomy with a friend, he was doing some live model, and I use it as a reference. And that's another thing that for sculptors is really important to all the time. Keep practicing, I keep studying, I keep doing stuff with real people, or just taking reference from all the things. But it makes you. I think it makes you better artists every time, because you discover that you don't know certain things that you thought you already known, and it's really helpful. But for example, when we were talking about the light, let's say, for example, if you move, this is a really simple. Let's put it here. It's a really simple lighting setup. If you put light here, it is the same face, but it looks so different. It is the same when you put a light from below and you cast shadows, it will look way different. So it is important to work all the time moving your light. I know some people is kind of weird, because if it looks different every time you move the light, how you convey something like a normal. And well, that's an interesting part, that you have to play with all these features to help you make better surfaces. And even you can, for example, anatomy is really complex. And it is, I think, for me, it is all about forms and shapes. And one example, it is, if you make a cut, right, you're going to see a profile of, in this case, of one arm. I'm just going to take this section here. And you can't see the real profile if you don't cut it, right? Because you only see from this size and from this view and this view. But one thing I always recommend, it is not just looking with your eyes like this. It is what happened in this section here, what is the shape? What is the shape here? And what is the shape here? And you have to keep looking all the time and refining and going. I'm not talking about surface details or textures. I don't care about that. Actually, I know that for a lot of people or artists, they love to see a lot of high level of texture or small details. That's cool. That's cool, and that's something you can learn pretty easily. Let's say, because you put on YouTube how to make a texture looks cool in ZBrush, and you are going to find hundreds of tutorials. But it's not easy to find. It is how to make something cool, looks cool, because it is about all this work you have to do. It is about studying the forms, and when we talk, for example, again about a Joker and the forms, if I don't know, if his back is or let's say, for example, the what is here, like here, another picture, the hand. I need to profile. Yes, like here. You can see some stress on his hand because of the way his finger posed and the asymmetry. And this is something that it's about the posing, right? But what about the proportions? What about, for example, the shoulders or these tiny bones, the scapulas, And you can say, yeah, but it is covered by the fabrics, the clothes. Yeah, but if you see some of these these shapes here, you can clearly see that his bones are protrude because of the way he is putting his shoulder. If you put your arm back, you can clearly touch your scapula, and that's something that's those tiny, let's say, volumes. It makes I think is a game changer for a statue, and that's why I'm always putting a lot of attention to that.
Well, this is why you're one of the best in the business, because of, just that attention to detail alone. Because there's so many artists I think that would miss that completely, but just highlighting that, it just goes to show you your talent, and it's very impressive.
Oh, thank you, man. I think when you put your focus in a wrong place, the piece is not going to survive for too long, Yeah, people could say, "Oh, this looks awesome. Oh, this looks fantastic." But then when they see another thing and they don't know why they like it better, because you don't have to know. I mean, the people who don't study anatomy or they are not artists, they don't know why they like it. But there is something there, or many things they're making. They're causing something in that person to choose this statue or other statue instead of that one. And I think it is to put the eye in the way you have to, in the place you have to, because as I said, this statue is just a sketch, right? And actually you can see some strokes there and some imperfection. That's fine. I don't care, because it's just a personal job, and they don't have the eyes finished. But if you have everything fully finished with all the tiny textures, but the volumes are weird and the surfaces are weird, it doesn't matter how much time you spend doing amazing details. It is your foundation. It is wrong. It's not good, and it's not going to be better even if you add all the details you want. I don't think it works like that. I mean, when I started in this, I tried to study why those amazing artists, ancient artists, those big names, as I said, Bernini, Michelangelo, Donatello, all the Ninja Turtles. But why they were so good, and I think, and when you see the statues, they didn't do many details, just plain surfaces, carved on stone, on marble, but the beauty of that are the surfaces, the volumes. That's a beauty they didn't need an exclusive. They didn't need details. They didn't need they don't need to add extra elements to make the things look cool, better. It's just a study of the forms. The forms are the king to me, and that's why I think we have to put so much attention on the forms, and then you can add a lot of months or of weeks of details once the piece is balanced. I don't know if you have any questions. If you
Just while you're talking about anatomy, we had somebody ask a little bit earlier. Ryan said, Daniel, when will you tackle a female character? I know you talked a little bit about that on our last show. Is that something that interests you at all at this point? Do you ever practice with female form, or do you still primarily prefer the male forms?
Maybe in the near future. Who knows?
That's exciting.
I know it yes when I hear one.
I was gonna say that could potentially be a tease. I don't know. We'll see. That's exciting.
I mean, the only thing I can say it as many people were telling me, Danny, you have to do a female, you have to do a female, and honestly, I didn't feel that I have to, or that I really want it, until I saw something that I said, if I ever do a female, I want to do that character and that way, and it happened. So probably you're going to see something in a near future about our female characters, and maybe more in the future. I don't know. I mean, it is. I always say the same. It is. I have to really feel it. I love this profession, and this is not a job for me. This is a hobby paid. And because I love it so much, and every single hour spent, I enjoy it. And if I ever stop enjoying it, I will do another thing. I will change the profession. I will work for a different market. I don't know, maybe video games or movie, whatever. But at the moment, I love this, and I really want. I want to keep doing what I motivates me to do it, and just do it because of the sake of. Oh, the rest of the artists, they do robots and they do females and they do okay, good for them. It's I do what I love, and I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you tell us like how many projects you've already completed that are going to be coming out, that are going to be your pieces coming out, whenever, but
yeah, probably 4.
Wow.
Yeah, approximately. Yeah, maybe 3, 4, something like that. Yeah, a couple of. We're doing all the time stuff, and some of of course, the pandemic caused make a lot of trouble in everything, and but at the same time, I think it changed some things in the way we are working for better, for way better, and I think. And I think the wait is going to be worth it, because we're doing a lot of cool stuff, all the artists at Sideshow, and we're really, really happy with the results we're getting, not just with our sculpts, with the production, with the paint job, more than ever. I love all the previous statues, but I think we're doing a really, really good job with all the new things you're going to see very soon.
I think Sideshow continues to get better. And I feel so impressed with how they've been able to keep the prices where they are. Whereas we see a lot of other companies, their prices are really skyrocketing. And so I think collectors really do appreciate that very, very much. So that's very, very exciting. Get to the chopper asks, Daniel, what's your favorite character you would like to create in the future? Maybe somebody that you haven't had a chance to at this point, or maybe you already have sculpted it. I don't know. Maybe you can't talk about it, but
wow. Actually, I have a few. I since I started working with villains, I don't know why, but something changed, and I love more villains than superheroes, because you can go more, let's say, rougher. You can put more time on doing these crazy things, like I don't know, wrinkles and then like Bane, big muscles and not, you don't have to be subtle. When you do, for example, I don't know, superhero, you have to be more careful, because it represents something that people wanted to see exactly like this. I don't know, if you do a Superman, you have to do the hair perfectly done, and that's cool, and I like it. I'm still liking it, but I think when I started working on Joker, I said, oh, I want more characters like this, in where you can put all these craziness on top without. I mean, I don't need to make them handsome. You know what I mean? It is without making them ugly.
Sure.
I don't have to be. I mean, if I do a Batman, well, a good example is a Batman Dark Knight is on the handsome. If I do, but Bruce Wayne, it is a handsome dude. So if you do a regular one, you have to do a handsome bit, but not the old guys, not the villains. So
there's plenty of crazy villains in the Batman world that we still need.
I was just gonna say a perfect companion to this Joker right here would be a Daniel Bell Two-Face. I mean, come on, that would be incredible.
Yeah, that's another cool character. Yeah, I think DC has more than Marvel, right? In terms of the ugliness of
Oh,
their
sure.
faces.
Well, and they certainly have so many characters, and we've talked about this before. And I'm beating a drum here, but dead horse. But there's so many characters that hasn't been done. Two-Face hasn't been done much. We haven't seen a quarter scale Clayface yet, which I think could be very cool because there's so much you can do with it to make it evil looking and monster like. So many of us want a Ra's al Ghul, or we want a Riddler. There's so many different characters that I would love to see you tackle specifically. You or Martine, both of you are just incredible. But there's just so many villains that have been done in the Marvel universe, but for whatever reason, Batman doesn't get a lot of love other than outside of the core characters. But I know like a Penguin would be awesome too from Sideshow. I would love to see all of that. And I know that like Tweeterhead's working on some, and I know you work with Tweeterhead pretty closely. But there's just so many possibilities that I know collectors are kind of drooling over the fact that we haven't had those characters yet. So again, fingers crossed we'll get some more from you down the road.
Yeah, man. Yeah, there are many to do, and I think Sideshow is taking not risks, but they are taking a new adventures, let's say, for all the next pieces that probably you're going to be really, really happy. And I understand that for a company, do characters that only a few like, and the most say, because this is something I heard many times. It is, you have to do this character, and they like it, and then when it comes out, they don't buy it. They just wanted to see it. You know what I mean? It is so we can be a really huge fan of something, and then you're not going to support it. And so for a company, it is let's say it reads like a loss of a waste of money or whatever. But I think that all the new things you're going to see from Sideshow, you're going to be really excited. I hope.
Well, we're anticipating it greatly. Somebody just brought up Clayface again. Like I always feel like, and I think Sideshow is good at doing this too with some of the bases. Like I could see, a Batman, but then incorporating Clayface in the base somehow, or just like bringing those characters without being a full statue, being able to incorporate a few elements maybe of some of those other characters. Maybe like, if you have Batman, have Ra's al Ghul coming out of the pit next to him or something like that. If you just to make it a diorama or something. So there's always those possibilities to bring those characters, I think. But I agree with you. I think sometimes it is obviously a risk, and at the end of the day, it is a business, and that's what it is. But I can't thank you enough for continuing to bring us this incredible art. I know we've kept you about an hour and a half. I know you probably need to go here soon. So is there any other questions from the panel before we let Danny go?
Daniel, would you consider sculpting a character of your own creation?
That's interesting. I was thinking in some stories and some characters a couple months ago that I already did some sketches and stuff like that. And I think in the near future, when I develop the idea better and I have more, let's say, when I the thing is, I don't want to pitch ideas and then be forgotten. So I really want to make sure that what I have in my hands is something that people will like it. Sometimes you don't know because the tastes are changing all the time, and but yes, I really want to do some personal stuff in the near future. It takes time. All every single moment that I want to put me, or to find some free time to work on something original, I I have to do all the stuff. I have family, I have my kids, and I have another things that I do, and it's hard to find the time to sit down and say, okay, I want to give some love to this creation I'm doing. But definitely, I really want to do something for the future, something cool that people want to have in their shops with all this stuff. Yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome. Any other questions, gentlemen?
I guess I'll ask one more. So you're at, I would say, an all-time high in your career as a sculptor. As an artist, do you have future goals? Like, do you see yourself doing something different in the future? Do you have like any future goals that you would like to accomplish?
Yeah, I think it's maybe related with the last question too. To do something unique that it doesn't depends of any kind of license or whatever. Because sometimes we could say some artist said, okay, let's take this license that is not maybe too well known, but it already exists. They have some fan base, and we can start from there, and that's okay. But sometimes it is. I would love to do something totally new, probably based on something else that you already know, because my influences are pretty obvious. It's comics and the things, billions of superheroes, maybe other things, but probably would be to do something unique, and that could be my next steps, maybe. Yeah, I think it is. I receive this question a lot. I mean, from my consideration is I'm in the best company at the moment, right? So there is no better up there. It is no other biggest company than Sideshow. So in terms of that, I think I reached the pinnacle of the companies, let's say. But I don't want to just keep me there, because otherwise I would be boring in a couple of years from now. Not because what I do at Sideshow, because if you do all the time the same for many years. I've been working at Sideshow. The other day, I was thinking since when I working at Sideshow, it's almost 8 years.
Wow.
And yeah, dude, it's a lot. And Martini, I think he's about 20 years, 25, something like that. Is a lot of time. And the thing is, you can still be passionate doing something if they treat you well and they allow you to do things you love. And that's something that happened in Sideshow. That's why I'm working with them, because I love to work every single day with them. But at the same time, as an artist and as a person, of course, you want sometimes more. Or not more, but something different. And I was thinking to move myself to any other company, like on the market, like video games or movies. But I had some experience in the past that I don't think if I'm going to love to work there as much as I love working here, in this field. I mean, having these conversations with you guys, with all the people who are fans of what we do, it is kind of unique. I know this is a niche, let's say. It's not as big as video games or movies or whatever. But this kind of niche, I love it, because we can have these kind of conversations, and you can, you know, my name, you know what I do. If I tell you, oh, just name, give me 2-3 names of people who have worked on The Last of Us, for example, a great video game from Naughty Dog. Probably you will not know. You don't know, and that's fine. So one thing I love of this market is, or better say this field, it is people know who you are, and not because ego, because it's important that people know the people, the artists behind the work, behind the statues.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, man. So probably, yeah. Answering your question could be something like a personal IP, let's say, something like that.
Nice.
Be awesome. Awesome. Great answer. Anybody else?
I have one last question, but not to push Danny down a rat hole or anything. But I was curious, we're talking about the anatomy, and I was just really intrigued to watch you, step us through your thinking on the model that you were referring to. And this may be a silly question, but as you sculpted the Joker, as you started on that project and had a design that you thought you were going to go with, do you start with just the basic human form, or do you sculpt him fully clothed?
Great question.
Good question. Now, I always started with a nude guy, let's say, a naked guy, and then I start adding clothes.
Okay.
Because no, I'm lying. No. The first sketch, it is with clothes. Then when you keep working on it, you have to do properly the body, because you have to see how the fabric is going to react with that body. So I did anatomy, maybe not as detailed as you do when someone is without clothes. But yes, I did it with clothes, just to see all the forms. A quick sketch, like a 1-day sketch, 1.5-day sketch. So that's something, and maybe something good for all the artists to know, that if you spend too much in a sketch, you're going to be less productive, because you're going to attach too much to that work that is taking you, 5 days. I think you have to waste or invest the less time as you can until you get the shape you want. And then from that point, if you're sure that it's something you like, you have to do a couple iterations. It doesn't matter how much love. Let's say, for example, I got this pose, and this musculature and this body, and I love it. At first, I love it. Okay, don't keep it. Just keep it, but do it another version. Just do some couple iterations, because most of the time you're never going to keep the first iteration you did.
Right.
It is the second, third, fourth. Maybe you did 10 sketches. Probably you're going to choose, 7, or maybe the third, but not the first one. It's really rare that you keep the first sketch you did. And that's something that I learned with experience. I'm failing a lot, which is part of the job. Failing a lot. Unfortunately, you have to fail. But yeah,
that's awesome. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
My pleasure.
Absolutely. Well, I just want to say thank you so very much for taking time out of your day to come on this show. And you mentioned how unique this experience is. And it's all, to me, when we talk about it all the time, that the best part, like the art is amazing, but the best part about it is the community, being able to talk and meet each other and have these conversations. It is so unique and it's so different here. And I'm so glad that we have this platform to be able to communicate with each other and hang out and stuff like that. So I want to thank you. I want to thank Sideshow for allowing this to happen. I want to thank Anna at Sideshow as well. And just thank you so much for your talent, and thank you for being part of this community. It's so awesome to have you on the show.
My pleasure, man. Thank you, all of you, because one important thing that I always notice when I watch your videos, it is the respect you have for artists and for this profession and for the people. And unfortunately, that's something that I don't see usually. People want to know. Some people, they think they know everything, and they treat without with no respect to artists, thinking that we took decisions because we want just to do something, I don't know, ugly, whatever, and that's not the case. Every time we invest being here in our desk and hours of work, it is because we want to make the best as we can, and exactly the same with the rest of the team, you know. And sometimes when you see disrespectful comments or videos talking, let's say, sometimes lies or bad things about the things we do, it is it feels not so good. And every time that I see your, as I said, your videos, and it is, even if you don't like it, because you don't have to like it every time, is with respect, and that's something that I love, and that's why I'm here talking with you, because I'm feeling great, and I think that's the way. That's an example of how the rest should do these kind of interviews or reviews or videos talking about the things we do. So thank you. Thanks to the community for always being so supportive from the beginning. In my case, they always treat me with a lot of love and support. So thank you so much. And I think I'm still here and doing these things I love because of you. So thank you, guys.
Well, that's awesome, and thank you for the very kind words. It means a lot to me too, because I truly feel like, yes, there are things about statues that might not be the best, but I always try to find the positives in everything in my life, including the art and the things I do here on this channel. So I really appreciate that. And again, from all of us here at the Rogues Gallery Live, we just thank you enough for your time, and can't wait to see what new projects you have on the horizon. So again, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate you being here.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Right. Have a good night. Thank you. Wow, that was awesome, right?
That was cool.
Oh, I love the insight on the painting of the sculpting, because I always assumed that they were black and white renders. Didn't you guys?
From past interviews, that was the impression I was under.
Yeah. I just always thought that they did it that way, and that's how they sculpted in black and white like that. So that's really interesting. I love the conversation about the depth of the texture and how it softens as it prints. Like, that's really unique. I've never heard that before. So that was really, really cool. That was really awesome. So anyway, thanks everybody for sticking in with us. We still have about 150 with us right now, but we've got more show. If you guys are still in, are you still ready for some pics and other things?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's do it.
But we have to do something first, because we promised a double live pre-order order. So we're going to do this. Dan and I are going to double live pre-order tonight, which is very exciting. And we are going to be double live pre-ordering which piece, Dan?
We are going to double live pre-order the Jokerized Batman. No. Batman Jokerized. No.
Batman or Joker in Batsuit, I think is yeah.
Batsuit, yes.
Joker in Batsuit. So I'm going to pull up my link. And let's see, I've got to find it from you. There it is, right there.
I've
so
got
you have
mine
yours
ready to go.
You have yours pulled up.
Yep.
Ready to go. Okay, mine.
Tell the audience what you're doing so they'll know they should do it too.
Okay, so we are actually going to order directly from Prime 1, and that is where you can order it right now. And it is the deluxe bonus version is what is available. It is a pricey statue. It is $1,500, so it's not cheap, but it is a George Jimenez inspired piece, and it's very, very unique. So like as I'm signing in, Dan, like what is it about this one that has put you over the edge to purchase?
So there's a couple of things. You know, I've watched a lot of the reaction, and I see people talk about, well, he's only in a couple of panels, you know, but the story arc that he's attached to, I'm a huge fan of what's been happening with the Batman, the primary Batman book for quite some time now. I love Jimenez's work. I think this is a super creative, you know, just version of the Joker in this bat suit that had been created for Bruce by Alfred, and that Joker has taken and kind of perverted into his own use. And I just think it's super cool. And as you've been saying for quite some time now, Chris, and you know I completely agree, it's different, right? This is going to really pop in my collection and yours, and whoever picks it up. I think it's not just another, you know, traditional Batman, and it's pulled right from the pages of the comics. So,
and while this suit is specific just to a few pages, we have had history of like a Jokerized Batman in the past. So
yeah,
I don't think
oh,
it's
yeah.
Without a doubt.
and they're usually popular pieces too.
Yep. I think he's going to look great. What about you, Chris? I turn the same question back to you.
Same thing. I'm looking for different. I'm looking for something unique. Of course, I love anything Joker. And this is definitely a different take on him for sure. I love the purple cape. I like that he, again, kind of like Daniel did with his Joker, it's kind of a maniacal pose where he's kind of got this weird foot, and it's just kind of a weird deal. The suit is oversized on him, so it's a smaller Joker fitting in a big bulky Batman. So I love it. I think it looks great. Me personally, I don't know if I'll display it with the other portraits. I really like the cowled portrait, but I'm just excited about it. So I'm just looking at shipping though, man. Economy shipping, $370.
Oof. Say how many boxes? Is it 1, 2? Probably 1, right?
Doesn't say. I would assume 1 on this one.
I don't know, that cape. It depends on how they do that cape.
Well, I'm hoping that it's very much like the Fabok Detective Comics 1000. We can only hope.
Chris, is there any confirmation in the shopping cart page that I've used your referral correctly?
I think as long as you click the link, it should be okay. And I had $28 in points. So that'll make a big dent.
Every little bit helps.
Every little bit helps.
Jeff, anything you want to pre-order? You can share.
Yeah, we can make it a quadruple or, you know, a sextuplet or whatever we are here.
This is a piece I do want to pre-order, and I do also need to pre-order the Bermejo Catwoman, but I'm not ready right this second. I don't have my webpage open at the second.
Yeah, we'll work something out.
Okay,
Eric, there's got to be something I need to pre-order.
I have 2 pieces that I need to pre-order.
Wow, Chris, what did you see for shipping?
307 is what it's quoting me.
And that's economy.
Economy.
How much is standard?
I am 324 economy.
Wow. What's standard? Does it say?
632.
Wow. And this piece isn't coming out until April 2024, which means by the time economy and all that stuff.
I'm assuming that price will come down a bit. That's just me.
Wow.
So the shipping people are getting on the fight for Catwoman from Prime 1 have been quite reasonable, like 100 economy or 120 by air.
Yeah.
That's what I'm wondering if this. I think the price will go down.
Of course, she doesn't have a cape.
She doesn't have the cape.
Yeah.
That'll
true. Probably be a very reasonable box.
Yeah, she's got a small base too.
I hope that shipping date moves a little forward. April of 2024. It's like a year and a half away.
Well, same with the Catwoman. It's like summer of 24.
Wow.
They're way out right now.
So does that change your mind?
For me?
I mean, sure. Well, yeah, don't let me.
Oh, no, it doesn't change. No, that doesn't change. No, I've got a few pieces out that far, or close to that probably, but no, it doesn't change my mind. I was kind of hoping that the standard shipping would be closer to the figure that we're paying for economy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I guess it is what it is.
I was thinking of doing it with the standard. I didn't realize the standard was that high. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Because to wait an extra, although they say their shipping now is back to like around a month's waiting time for the economy. It's not like what it was originally. Like it used to be like 3 months, like almost.
Yeah.
1 to 3.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean 1 month versus. I mean, it's been as fast. I think I've had a piece from Prime 1 in the past in like a week with standard shipping.
Plus standard,
which is crazy. I mean, I haven't seen that in a long time. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know, Chris. What do you think?
think I'm just trying to get logged into my PayPal, and I'm having trouble getting logged in.
Ah,
So give me just a second here, but I'm going to go.
yeah, I'm doing it. Hold on. It is. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm having to do the same thing, Chris.
Says it looks like you've tried too many times.
Uh-oh.
It says you bought too much shit and you're not buying anything else today.
What's this?
It's like I'm on my 15-minute break.
They caught on to the link sharing.
Password.
Maybe PayPal's down.
By the time you guys do this, I could probably pull up Bermejo Catwoman and order it.
Okay.
Yeah, probably could.
Next time.
So guys in the chat, if you don't know what they're doing, they're using each other's links so that they can get 2% back in Prime $1, right? Is that
Yes.
correct? Yeah. So if you're going to be pre-ordering something, it's always worth it to jump on one of the Facebook groups and maybe see if you can find someone else who's going to order something from Prime 1 or from Sideshow, and see if you can trade links and save yourself some money.
Always a good idea. We've been talking like why don't we do this more often?
I've been really annoying, badgering you guys to do this more.
That's the idea. Thanks. Yeah, thanks for reminding me.
Well, sometimes we just need the reminder because we're just so quick to order something.
You get excited.
We do.
You want to order it. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. BoardCube1of2 says wife changed PayPal password.
I mean,
like
she
that.
she would be smart if she did.
You guys
what's
can't.
happening?
Done.
Oh, you got it?
You're in. All right, I'm
I'm
changing
done.
my password. Hold
Yep.
on.
So what's going on your end? You can't even log in?
Can't even log in. But let me oh, you can't do that. Okay.
Fatal's asking if there's a limit on links like Sideshow. No, you can do it on every single purchase.
All right. I've updated my password. So now let's see if it'll work. I am not a robot. I've got to make a bus and a motorcycle.
I hate those things.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, this is a good sign. Yeah, I gotta check my-
eBay does that to me all the time. They're like, pick all the images that look like a lion. I'm like, is that a lion? Is that a tiger? I can't tell.
Mhm. All right.
Oh, looks like Paul is looking for a referral friend.
Yeah.
Eric.
Oh, very good.
Yeah. What are you ordering, Paul?
Okay, one more step. Finish paying. So Dan, you're done. You're in.
I'm done. I'm good. My order is confirmed.
All right.
No,
My
Matt.
$28 discount.
Matt wants to know if it's the same statue for the links to work. No, you can use any statue.
Anyone at all.
Yep. And my order has been received. Double live
Nice.
pre-order. It took way longer than we were expecting,
Boom.
but hey, congratulations to Dan and myself. Yay, I'm excited.
I'm excited to get that one. I think it's gonna be cool.
And it'll only be a 2 to 3 year wait, so that's not too bad.
So yeah, a couple of years.
A couple years, you know.
I
It
have
is what it is.
Yeah, I have no doubt that we'll all be sitting around the same cameras.
No doubt.
Every other Wednesday night, 2 years from now.
Oh, no kidding.
Another
It just-
Batman statue has arrived.
Oh my good Lord. Go figure, right? Go figure. That's crazy. Well, congratulations again. And do you want to look at pictures?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Yeah,
let's do it.
These poor people have been waiting. Let's
No kidding.
entertain them.
And I'm going to move me back to my regular spot. I'm going to move Dan back up to his regular spot. Does that look better, guys?
I feel so much better.
I can just feel like I can relax now a little bit.
yeah.
Like, you're much better in the Mike Brady position.
Yes, it's so much better. So much better. Okay.
I think I'm
All right.
Cindy or something. I'm not sure.
All right. Well, we've got some fun stuff to look at right off the bat. Let's start with this lady right here.
Hello.
So this literally came out of the blue.
Yep.
And it's literally the exact same pose as Darkside Collectible Studio.
Yep.
Darkside Collectible Studios, they noticed that.
Yep.
By the way, yep,
Really?
they noticed that. Yeah, they
So
noticed that.
you're getting those text messages at 4 o'clock in the morning too.
I sure am getting those text messages at 4 a.m. and the same thing. It's like, gee, many Christmas. So I are you shocked that it's exactly the same? Like, I can't believe it's the same.
Yeah, they must have just both went from the same reference photo, I guess.
I guess so.
Even the whip is in the same shape.
She's a little bit more twisted than the Darkside Collectible Studio. And so we're going to kind of compare and contrast them here tonight. So I've got photos from both, and it's very exciting because they did release both of them. We also have price points, which is very good. So this one clocked in, I believe, at, what was it, $1,300. It does have LED illumination. But what do you think of the pose? Let's just talk about Prime 1 first. What do you think about the pose, and what do you think about the likeness?
Well, it's hard to talk about this without talking about the Darkside one at the same time.
Well, we can do that. I mean, we can talk about it too.
In comparison, I still like the Tweeterhead statue as far as pose goes. If I was a movie collector and I'm buying a Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman, I would probably lean towards the Tweeterhead if I wanted like a masked portrait. But
it's funny you mentioned that, because I actually told Chad today. I said, Chad, you need to make yours in 3rd scale.
Yeah. But what Darkside has going for it is that unmasked portrait. And I'm not a movie collector, and just seeing that unmasked portrait makes me want to buy that statue.
Do you think Prime 1 would do what they did with the Joker and come out with a bust with the second portrait?
That would be interesting to see how that looks on this.
I almost guarantee they're going to do that.
That would be interesting.
I think what they'd be smarter to do is kind of like the half mask that she has when she's really freaky.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Because I don't think she's ever completely unmasked in the movie.
Well, she does. She at
with
the
the
very
bust-
end, at the end she does take it off completely, but her hair's like really crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love that look with that half torn off portrait,
Right.
with the hair kind of coming out different areas.
Yeah.
Like, that is that iconic look that everybody's wanted,
I think so.
and no one has done it. So I do think that if Prime 1 did come out with a second portrait, whether it's a separate purchase or not, which it's probably smart on their part, because then they make additional money.
It would tilt me in the direction if it looked like that versus completely unmasked.
Right.
Because I don't know that I would ever put it on.
Right. I love the LED illumination on this one. I think it looks really good. It would be even cooler if it like blinked or something.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, both companies did the same base almost as well with the LED illumination, though.
Yeah. I think the cat's a little lame as a bonus.
It's like one of those, like, it looks like a street alley, like a feral cat. Like, it's crazy. Like,
yeah, it does. I mean, it's a cool looking cat. It's not cartoon.
It's the same X as Tweeterhead.
Right. It is. It is the same. I said it in my video. I think that the likeness is like 95% there for me. It's not 100% perfect. Although that one I showed you, I feel like the closer you get, the more it looks like Michelle than from a distance. She's got that same blue eyes. I did show my wife, if you wanted her opinion, I showed her the two statues between this and the Darkside, and she said that she feels like the body itself looks more like leather to her. And so she felt like the Prime 1 would be a little bit more accurate in terms of finish. A lot of people, though, are saying, they just don't know if they can trust Blitzway, that they could trust what the final product is going to be. And they a lot of them say, look at the Linda Carter. I feel like the Linda Carter looks very much like the prototype.
and I also read that these photographs obviously are professional, to where the Darkside was just quickly taken on a cell phone or something.
That's
true. That's a good point. That is a good point about that.
Darkside will have studio shots in a few weeks.
Yeah, I mean, they did that as a response.
Yeah.
Clearly. I mean, they wanted their vision out for this as well. And so it is interesting to compare and contrast these. I don't think anybody's going to lose if you, no matter which way you buy. I think you're going to be real happy.
Yeah, I agree.
And
I agree. I think they're both. It's obviously Michelle Pfeiffer, no doubt. Someone said on Statue Forum, and I think that they're right, that this head sculpt looks more like her in the department store scene of the movie.
yes,
Whereas the Dark Side portrait better represents how she looks throughout the movie rather than that specific scene.
I think that you hit that nail right on the head.
Yeah.
It absolutely, and that, you know, it's that pose with her kind of where she gets ready to start skipping.
Yep.
She just either is just getting ready to take the mannequin heads off, or maybe right after it. But I think that's exactly the scene. I mean, you could definitely get that feel from this. And I definitely, again, the more I see this, the more I do see Michelle. Again, is it perfect? No. But I do think it's really, really good. One thing that I think Darkseid has going for them is that they have announced that they are doing a Penguin and Batman and hopefully a Joker. I know Joker is always one of those hangups, but with Prime 1, we don't know if they're going to do any other characters. So that is something that you might have to consider. Although I think that, you know, even if you get this and you get the other Darkseid, they're all going to look good together. And also Darkseid is going to do it in quarter scale. So that is another thing that we have to consider. If you're a quarter scale collector, that's also very exciting news. But I am going to order this.
The Prime 1?
I'm going to order the Prime 1, and I'm going to be getting in the Darkseid. And so I cannot wait to show these side by side. And
like,
show you.
Yeah, like you said, either way, you can't go wrong with either one.
No, you cannot go wrong with either one. I love this, and I love the Darkseid one. That's what's exciting. I love third scale, so I cannot imagine my collection without this. And just thinking that maybe we'll get a Keaton to go along with her, like that's like a dream for me in third scale. So I'm excited to see what both companies do. It's a great time to be a collector, obviously. And again, I just think that looks fantastic. I can't wait.
It is a slight disappointment that the pose is the same, because I think some collectors would buy both.
I agree. I think it is shocking to me that it's the same. But you know, it's just sometimes we get those happy little accidents. It is what it is. But let's move on to Darkseid now. So these were released by Darkseid. My wife did feel like this portrait right here, again, going back to her, she did feel like this looked more like Michelle. Some people think it looks a little bit stickery on the eyes. I don't know if I agree with that or not, but I do feel like it looks like her. This is the other unmasked portrait. So like you said, like you were having trouble remembering when she had her mask off, but and her hair was so crazy. Whereas this looks more like she did when she was like on the street in her street clothes, you know? And so I can see where maybe some people wouldn't want to display it that way. If it was a maniacal head, or her hair was all frayed and crazy, I think that would fit the statue better.
Chris, I've got a funny, maybe a little bit different observation regarding these portraits.
Yes, please.
I think with Prime 1, I think people's concern with Blitzway is well-founded. I am one that does believe that the Linda Carter portrait for Wonder Woman, I think definitely is lacking compared to the prototype. Again, in my eyes. We can even say that about the Joker. We love the Joker, but it is a downgrade in paint from what they originally showed us. Certainly from a paint standpoint.
I think
the Linda Carter one, it's hard to tell for me with that one, whether it's paint, sculpt, or some combination. But
there's a lot of bad photos out there too of her.
I feel like this portrait, there's a higher degree of risk that it may not look like her as much as this one does. Whereas the other one, the Darkseid one, is so clearly her with the smirk and the eyes that it's almost, I feel like there's less risk that one would be screwed up.
I agree.
I don't know what I'm saying.
Agree. Yeah, I think that the idea that the production Prime 1 portrait, the eyes are going to look as good as they do.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening.
Exactly. I think that's riskier.
Yeah.
Not that they can't do it, but I mean, they very well could.
But they won't do it.
Yeah. And I also think that Darkseid has more writing on this piece. I feel like this is a game changer piece for them. It's I don't know. I guess to me, it's a little bit more mainstream. Like, I mean, you think of like Picard or you think of Nimoy, some of those characters. I just feel like, I don't know. Do you guys agree with me that this character might just put him on the map?
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
that's a good point. Like you said, that if they're going to do the rest of the characters, they want to make sure they then continue to do the license and everything. So
yeah, I mean, look at this portrait. Do I think, like, looking at the detail on her, I don't know if the leather looks as realistic as maybe the Prime 1 does, but there's no question that portrait is Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
And it just is gorgeous.
I mean,
it really captures that smirk.
Like, you don't need to zoom in, even in these pictures, right? You don't need to zoom in on that to know that's her.
Correct.
And that's saying something.
It's got a base that's similar. It's got the hell here. It doesn't have it actually has the O as well. Me personally, I think I like the Prime 1 base just a little bit better, although I love the Max Shrek head.
yeah.
And it's got the 3 cats on it. And this one, they did reveal the price. This is $1,200 for this one, and it's going to be, I believe, $900 for the quarter scale.
I think that's one mistake they made.
That looks great.
Yeah,
I think
that's what sells it for me right there is that portrait on the statue.
It's beautiful.
everybody is very happy with the 1/3 price, but no one's happy with that 1/4 price.
You think it's too much?
It is too much.
It's because there's not a big enough price difference between the two.
That's correct. I think it should have been like $749 or something.
I agree. At least that a little bit, just like, because it is so close to the 3rd scale.
The problem is, if you look at Darkseid's edition sizes, they're very small. I'm not sure they've ever gone over 500. So I don't know what they're thinking as far as edition size on this. It's not going to be as big as Prime 1. So maybe that higher price is justified. But I heard a lot of quarter scale collectors complaining today about that $899 price. Even though Iron Studios, all their quarter scale stuff is $1,000 now.
Oh,
Yeah.
But for some reason, people did not feel that this was a $899 quarter scale piece.
And I'm not sure if you said it or not, but didn't they mention something about like not charging tax and duty fees and something like that?
There's an agreement between, according to the representative from Darkseid, there is an agreement between the U.S. government and Greece, where this is manufactured or where this was designed, that the threshold for import taxes is very, very high, much higher than the price of this piece. So there's no scenario where she could envision anyone in the U.S. being charged import taxes for this statue.
That's great. They also had, I don't know if a lot of people missed it, but they also are going to do a life-size silicone bust of her.
Yeah.
So that's very exciting too. And I have not seen anything. I've not seen any behind-the-scenes stuff with that one.
Well, you might have. You might have. You might have.
We might have.
You might have.
Well, maybe I did.
Well,
So is this a race?
I can't say any more than that.
Okay. What were you going to say, Dan?
Is this a race to market now? I mean, who's going to hit the street first with theirs?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think so. I mean, I think that this is, they've actually had a delay with licensing, getting approval. And so, they obviously have it. But I think so too. I mean, obviously this Prime 1 is already up for pre-order, and this one goes up, next week? I think. Yeah,
but I think Darkseid's going to beat them. I can't imagine Darkseid saying it'll be out in 2 years.
No, they will be. This will be out on the streets before Prime 1. I guarantee it.
Prime 1 has way too many statues on their plate.
Yeah, I guarantee this one will hit first.
Yep.
So anyway, everybody wins. In my opinion, obviously price point is high for both. I mean, considering it is what it is, but it's like they're both beautiful statues.
They are.
And I just cannot wait to show this to you guys. So I can't wait. They have promised to send me one, and so I hopefully will be able to show you exactly what you're going to be getting, which is very exciting.
Did Prime 1 put an ES on it?
No,
I don't think not
TBD.
yet.
TBD.
Yeah, TBD.
Michael,
I did ask my contact about edition size for the 1/3 scale, because it does say it's going to be limited, and they are not releasing that information yet.
Okay.
So just FYI to everybody.
I don't know, guys, if I'd be so definitive about Prime 1 not being able to get. This seems to me this is a piece that's going to sell some volume, right? This is
Yes.
not a 350 piece or 500 piece statue. This is
No chance.
Yeah.
No
1,000.
chance.
So I think there's a lot of money on the table here. I would not put it past Prime One or any company, and if I were them, I would do it, is to adjust a production schedule to insert this one into a production schedule and push something else off.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
paint
same time-
can't be that difficult on this one.
Yeah. Well, also at the same time, please don't rush them and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
make the prototype.
But and Dan doesn't. I feel like Prime One and Blitzway specifically has been getting stuff out quicker.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
they have, yeah. And that's only going to
they
improve.
have.
Yeah. That's only going to improve too, guys. And,
Yeah.
production schedules change. I mean, I think there's, as important as this is to Darkseid, I think this is an important first to market too, because they're so similar. You're getting the same customer. People aren't buying both of these.
Correct, except for
Yeah.
crazy people like me.
Yeah, right.
Well, that is true with Prime One, because if you look at some of their statues that they have out on pre-order, some are ahead of others, and you can see like
Yeah.
this priority on certain pieces. So,
That's true.
Exactly.
So
So-
Michael asked in the chat where he can order the Darkseid. Up until now, Sideshow has gotten all of the Darkseid pieces. So there's a good
Correct.
chance to be able to order it from Sideshow.
I cannot imagine Sideshow not.
Right.
But we don't know for sure. Darkseid will be selling direct. I know that for a fact. So you can order from Darkseid whenever it goes up for pre-order. Of course, stay tuned to the channel. We will have links, and we'll let you guys know as soon as it does go up for pre-order. And I will hopefully have that exact date for my contact, and we'll get that out to you. Because again, I think this is going to go extremely fast, especially that it's limited. And so again, but you have the option of quarter scale as well. So like I said, everybody wins here. And again, I feel like where the big bonus for Darkseid is not only is the likeness incredible, but also the fact that they are doing the Penguin, they are doing Keaton in third scale, in quarter scale. So just knowing that fact, where we don't know for sure from Prime One, that might sway some people to say, hey, I want to go with Darkseid. But again, regardless, I think they're all going to look good together no matter what. But we don't have that information from Prime One. So anyway, anything else you guys want to say before we move on from Catwoman?
It's been an exciting week.
It has. It's been really fun to hear everybody's comments. It's been really cool.
And a cool side effect of this is that I think people have been reminded what a great piece the Tweeterhead piece is.
Yes. And again, that's why I contacted Chad. I'm like, I've heard so much positive about the Tweeterhead piece. It's like, you should do it in third. And he did message me back and saying it's just so expensive to produce it at that scale. But I don't know, if I pressure him enough, maybe he'll consider it, because I think a lot of people would buy it because again, that's just such a beautiful, iconic, different statue with her, sprawled out like that. So,
Well, but look at that Darkseid portrait. That's very similar to the Tweeterhead.
it's very similar. It really is. I just really feel like
Pose kills the Tweeterhead for me because it's kind of, I don't have anywhere I could put it.
it's a little hard to display.
Yeah.
Because it's long. It's just different. And it's like, especially if you have all museum tall pieces and then you have this little short one. But I don't know, if he offered it in third scale, I would definitely consider it.
It's 20 inches wide. And when I looked up one of these, I can't remember which one. It might have been the Prime One. It was 12 inches wide for a 1/3.
Yeah.
Wow. Crazy.
Yeah.
But
Crazy.
if Prime One is watching this, get on your game with likenesses better with these Blitzway collaborations, because I feel like they've all been a little iffy in places.
I think some of it has to do with final paint. Because
I've seen some video of the Jon Snow, and I thought that was going to come out killer, and it's kind of
close.
yeah, I
it
feel like that
doesn't
one's
look
pretty close.
alive to me.
So
it
hopefully,
just looks very static.
hopefully they will continue. Obviously, the photos that we're seeing here are professional. Probably painted by KA or somebody. I don't know who the sculptor is on this one.
It's not K.A. Kim.
It's not KA. Okay.
No, she's the artistic director of the project.
Okay.
I wonder if it comes down to the material and, like you said, the way these are photographing, the way Prime One uses that translucent skin resin, which
Right.
doesn't photograph well.
And you could see the difference in skin tone here.
That won't be translucent resin from Blitzway.
It'll
I don't
be
think.
plastic, right? It's usually a plastic
Yeah,
head, like a
That's
PVC
what
head.
they are.
Yeah.
Yep. So, again, time will tell. I feel like everybody wins. It is a tough choice, but I don't know. I think they both look great.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to this guy. Speaking of likeness, look at this thing. I think that is incredible. This is from Queen Studios, and this is quarter scale, Black Adam. But what do you guys think of this portrait?
That looks awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Doesn't that look incredible?
Yeah, I still need to go see this.
It's good. I really enjoyed it. But this is Black Adam on Throne. This was actually shown at one of their overseas events this past week. There you can see the kind of the size of him. So it's a pretty big piece actually for quarter scale. It's definitely a throne piece, which he wasn't on the throne very long in the movie.
It was at least 2 seconds.
Yeah, I was going to say at least 2
Spoiler,
seconds.
right?
So about as much as the Joker suit was in the Joker comic.
Yeah.
But still, I think it's a fun piece. What do you guys think of it?
It looks great.
Yeah, it looks good.
Is he frozen?
Oh, he is.
We have our first.
Yeah, I think so.
So I love the Queen Studios movie pieces, but I'm going to pass on this one because I'm not as big a fan of the movie.
Did you watch it, Jeff?
Was that?
You watched the movie?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It didn't quite work for me on many levels.
Might go this weekend, I think.
Yeah. I don't want to give any spoilers, but I don't know. It just felt like a manufactured product more than a well-told story.
Yeah.
Am I back?
You're
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
2 hours, 13 minutes. That's not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad. So did you say you like it or not like it?
I like the statue, but I didn't like the movie.
Oh, you didn't like the movie? Okay.
Not a big fan of the movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
So probably won't be picking this up then.
I won't. But the likeness is great.
Yeah, I think it's really good.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's pending talent approval, it says. So hopefully it'll be approved. And if you're a fan of the movie, you'll add this one to your collection. But I think their artists are getting better and better at Queen Studios.
Queen Studios, man. They're having a great year.
They are. They're phenomenal. I would like to get to know their sculptors a little bit better.
Yeah, they need to promote them better.
Yeah, because I don't feel like I know anybody's name there.
Yeah.
Speaking of best studio, time
But hold on, 900 by the way, 900 for this.
596 edition size.
Yeah.
That's pretty small.
Pretty small. Sorry, Eric, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was going to plug the Batsy Awards because, there is an option for best studio this year, and I think I might have chosen Queen Studios just for everything they put out this year.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. So, guys, in the pinned link over on the side, if you haven't done so already, and I think by showtime, I think we had like 90 some people that have filled it out so far. But please click the link. It's going to take you. You have to fill out your email address, and I'm going to use that for a giveaway. And then fill out who you want to choose for your best favorite statues of 2022. These are licensed statues that did come out this calendar year. And so please vote. We want to have as many votes as possible. The Batsy Awards will most likely be toward the end of December, possibly into the early week of January this year. We'll see. But depending on schedules. But anyway, please vote. And if you want to vote with multiple email addresses, you could do that as well. If you really want to vote for somebody, you could do that. But please vote and just join in all the fun. Again, the Batsy Awards will be toward the end of the year. So anyway, thanks for bringing that up, Eric.
No problem.
All right, so that's the rock right there. Again, these were some of the photos from the actual event, which is cool. Queen Studios has a brand new logo, so that's exciting for them. Hey, look at this guy.
Look at that.
There's my broken statue. I love this cape.
I still don't know how you did that with the cape.
So I bent it, and the cape is leaning up against his hand.
I just don't remember my cape shooting out that far.
Yeah, it's but if it falls off of his hand, it collapses. So you have to like prop it up there. But I just wanted to say, like, I love this statue. I think it's so good. it's one of those ones that I hesitated on for a long time, but I just wanted to say again publicly that I'm really happy with it. So again, thanks to the seller. A lot of people in the chat blamed him for breaking it on purpose. It was not his fault. He's a longtime viewer of the channel. He actually said that he bought the statue because of the channel, and so it just broke in shipping. And I believe I'm going to send it off to Eric to get it repaired. So again, definitely subscribe to All Things Art, and hopefully he will be able to document fixing my statue. So that'll be really cool content for the channel.
Sure.
Speaking of Batman, again, this was one we haven't really had a chance to. We kind of talked a little bit. We had a little show, but not with all of us, a reaction show. But what do you guys think of this one? If you haven't chimed in already, 1/4 scale from Queen Studios. I think this is another one that looks great.
Yeah.
I'm tempted to pick this one up. When I look at this side by side with the Weta piece, I almost wonder if the fabric coat is too bulky. I don't think it's as bulky in the Weta piece. And I don't know, some people think that this kind of gives it a Hot Toys feel.
It does look heavy.
Yeah, to me, it I don't know. It doesn't work for me quite as well as the Weta piece, but I have a lot more faith in Queen Studios and getting the likeness right and getting everything else right.
Although, again, I will say with that, seeing that Weta Joker in person, I was so impressed with the likeness.
Yeah.
In New York. So I think this one is awesome.
The sweep of the cape on the Weta piece is really nice, but yeah. I'm really tempted on this one. It is a neat piece, but the coat does concern me a little.
I do feel like I like this one better than the Weta piece.
Okay.
Just in its simplicity, I do like it. I love the barbed wire. I think it'll be pretty low profile, which is great. I feel like this is a Secret Sanctuary type piece.
It probably is.
Yeah. It just with your direction right now,
Will be wired.
I would imagine the bottom might be, or maybe this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't tell if it.
The only problem I'm having right now is these photos look like they're heavily edited to look better than what it should. I don't know.
Well, we did see them on display.
The video, yeah, the live
video, yeah. So I don't know if I have it. I think I don't have any of those because we already looked at them on the last show. But
again, the price is pretty good. The edition size is not scary.
Yeah, 765 edition size of 800.
It's not
so
bad.
Yeah, it's got some plastic to it, some fabric, clothing, and resin. But I am really happy they decided to go quarter scale. I think that was a brilliant move.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I think I think it's inevitable.
They also are tweaking the portrait, so they've already tweaked it. So this is the updated look.
They put the wrong one on.
Yep, they did. Whoop. Yeah, they did. They put the wrong one on. So they have updated the cowl, which is great. These are some in-hand photos of their brand new Purgatory piece from PCS. So this has started shipping. So this is now an option on the Batsy Awards for third scale statues of the year. I think that looks great.
And Sideshow has this in stock.
Yes. So again, third scale, beautiful body on this one, beautiful sculpt. Again, PCS. So if you're a PCS collector, cool base. I don't know. I think it turned out pretty good.
It did. Did you see PCS put out that 7-second video of the production of their Deja Thoris?
You said 7 seconds?
It's 7 seconds long and it moves so fast that you can't tell anything.
That's hilarious. Well, I don't know. Maybe that's not a good sign. I don't know.
It's pretty
but
fun.
This is hilarious to me. This is the bangs.
Oh yeah. So what is that thing?
That's the bangs, because you could change out the bangs on her forehead. That was the exclusive.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought that was funny that her hair's down here on the base like that.
I was trying to figure out what it was, but as you were talking,
Yeah,
that's
the bangs. All right, so there's the Joker Batsuit that we were talking about earlier. So this is coming home to Wayne Manor North and the Batman Statue Collector's Batcave. I love it.
Yep. I think it's going to be a super fun piece.
It is. And they've got the half unmasked portrait, and then also the bonus, which is what we just bought. And so I love that portrait. I just think it's so cool.
Yep.
It's got a crushed Batmobile.
I love that too. Yeah.
I love that the smoke kind of
Yep.
matches the Fabok Detective Comics 1000. So that's going to pair up really nicely, I feel like, with that piece.
Hey, Dylan is asking where the Vampirella from PCS is. I think they sent out emails yesterday that piece is going to be late.
Going to be late. And when that one of the first ones out of the gate?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's surprising. But
I-
maybe Purgatory was an easier paint.
I just got a 15% off code from Sideshow because Tweeterhead Merman is going to be late.
Interesting.
Other than the other Jimenez Joker, this is, I think, my second most anticipated piece. I just hate that it's shipping in 2024.
Yeah.
So did you order it too, Eric?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm
You're
ready
thinking
to
about
go, whatever, but I don't know. The edition size isn't even up yet, and so
No rush.
there's time.
Yeah, there's no rush. This will not sell out.
But I do need to get Catwoman done because Catwoman is supposedly shipping first quarter of next year, and it's a low edition size.
We've got the Henry Cavill Superman. So these are just some additional photos from the event this weekend. I still think the portrait looks really good on this one. And this was third scale, right?
Yeah. We need a blue-red variant.
There's got to be one, right?
I don't need a black costume Superman. I need a traditional.
Yeah, nobody wants the black one. They want the colors. But anyway, the portrait looks great. Again, Queen Studios, whoever their sculptors are doing a phenomenal job. They also have the Joker on display. I think these photos make him look better. But it's still one I don't know if I would purchase. Probably not. This is the new 89 Batwing. And this is from Jazz Inc. This is their prototype, and I thought this was pretty exciting. I know a lot of people are really excited about this for the Jazz Inc. collectors out there.
That should be very popular.
Yeah, it'll sell out.
It's going to be huge.
Yeah,
I mean, look, company made the first Batwing.
Can you see this shelf back here?
Wow.
This is the floor. I mean, this is going to be massive. And look, it's got, I don't know the price. Expensive.
Hang that from your ceiling.
Yeah, no kidding. But how cool would that look hanging from the ceiling?
It would look awesome.
Be incredible. Speaking of Catwoman, this was their brand new cowl from Pure Arts. I like this one a lot better than the Batman cowl.
Yeah. It's not just a stick. It's actually like, they did something a little creative with the stand.
Well, the other Batman stand was like this. It
was, that too, right?
Yeah, it was like this, but you couldn't see it. Whereas this one you could see a little bit better. It also has this exclusive clock thing, which is cool. But it was like $800.
Oh, Max in the chat has info on the Batwing. It's 2,600 USD, and it's
my god,
it's 4 feet long.
Oh my god,
wow.
Good God Almighty!
It's a big piece. I don't know if you heard somebody. I forget which company it was. Already did a Batwing. It was like long sold out. It's like really sought after.
I don't know who it would have been, but I'm sure there has been one over the years.
Yeah, there was a video. I don't know if you guys watch Adam Savage. He did a video on it.
Yeah. What do you think about the $800 price point on this? Overpriced, right?
Yeah, it's not my cup of tea.
Yeah, I love it though.
I could get a Nightmare Batman for that.
Yes, you can. These are the half-scale Iron Mans from Queen Studios. This was shown for the first time. I love all of these things. Look how good that looks.
Yeah, that looks really good.
Gosh, it looks great. And there's also a battle damage version as well.
I like that.
This is like, it's like burnt Iron Man. This is like way beyond battle damage, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's like super
singed.
Yes, super singed. That looks so good, I think.
A little overboard, I think.
Yeah, I could see it. I could see that. A little overboard. It's a darker red too.
Is it the same price or is the battle damage more expensive?
I wonder if I have a picture of that. Hold on.
It seems like it'd be more labor intensive.
Yeah, it's a little bit more. So $25.15 for the regular, $26.65. So not much more.
150.
Yeah, not much more.
Yeah.
ES on it at 500 and only 200 of the battle damage.
Oh, wow.
So really low ES on that. But great detail, obviously.
Yeah.
I love those. This is the size, so you get an idea of how big it is. That's the battle damage.
That looks so cool next to the half scale cap.
Yeah, it does. It really, they would pair up so good together.
Yeah.
Half scale's not my cup of tea, though. But they look good up there. This is what their booth looked like. So again, this is what the Vegas event should have looked like.
Yeah.
For sure. It's too bad they didn't do this there. But I love seeing these kind of booth tours. I love these.
Yeah, just even seeing the people next to the statue helps just put
Yeah,
it in.
it really does. It gives you an idea of how big they are. There's Jeff's Wonder Woman in the foreground.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny how tiny she looks.
Oh, yes.
I know. I know. Well, here's Hulk Hogan. This is from PCS. This started shipping, and I actually think this looks a lot better than I thought. I think the likeness is pretty good, actually. I'm a Hulkamaniac from back in the day, so had to feature Hogan on this. That looked pretty good. Train, say your prayers, eat your vitamins, brother. So this I thought was pretty. So remember when Eric had his Riddler next to his Sanity?
Yeah, I still have it.
Well, somebody took it one step further and painted it and added it to Sanity.
I like that they added the base. So that I had an idea to do the similar thing with the add a cloud base to it.
They did. They sculpted it.
Yeah, that's that's inspiration.
So they sculpted it and added it to the base. So now Riddler is part of Sanity.
The only thing I don't like is I feel like you probably should have put it on the left side to help balance everything.
I agree. It's not balanced right.
Yeah, I think on the left side it might have worked
because it's so heavy with the bat or the man bat over here. But I mean, how cool is that they did that? I thought it was really creative.
Yeah, that looks great.
I think I would assume, Eric, you inspired it.
Probably, yeah.
Because you're the first person. You're the first person that thought of that.
Riddlers, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I thought that was cool. These are some photos from In Art, and I think these look incredible. So if they can do this, if they can match it in production, I don't like this portrait as much as the jail cell one. I love that portrait. I think they nailed it. So if you are a figure collector, I think you're in luck. I have a company that might be sending me one of these. So we'll see if I end up getting it in or not. But I think it looks incredible. Jeff, you're primarily, you've collected Hot Toys over the years. What do you think of this? Do you feel like this is going to be some competition for Hot Toys?
Maybe somewhat. I think there's a big price difference.
These are more expensive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks great.
So I guess time will tell. This is the sculpted versus the rooted hair. So we'll see. These are screenshots, by the way. Look at these guys on display. Oh my God.
These are awesome.
And we got a price point. Are these like, were they like 1,800 or 2,000? I can't remember. Do you guys remember?
Like $2,150 for one torso and $3,000 for all three torsos.
I don't think that's too bad. Do you?
I don't either.
I mean, if you get all three,
this thing's driving me crazy.
It's so good.
It's so damn big. There's no way it would fit, but I love this piece.
Now, let me ask you this. The gray one, though, it doesn't have the extra torsos, right? So they just have the one version of that one?
Yeah, and when Jay was on the live stream at the show where they first revealed these, he said that they were going to do a real small edition size on the gray, but they must have changed their mind because they're doing just as many of the gray as the others.
Wow. Well, clearly there's a ton of interest in these. I think these are going to be some of the quintessential Hulks in anybody's collection. They're just so massive. third scale, guys. It's just insane. But I love all of them.
They're so cool.
And the bases are cool.
I really love that Rage portrait there.
Yep.
But one thing that occurred to me is if you're buying the whole line, the whole Avengers line, you'd want one of the other ones because the other portraits on the other characters are pretty stoic on Thor and Iron Man and Cap. So to have the Rage on Hulk might not fit the situation that the others are in.
So maybe
Whereas-
that one or this one, maybe.
Yep.
That's a good point you bring up. Whereas this one doesn't make maybe as much sense.
But if you're just buying Hulk, I would buy that one.
Yeah,
That's
I love it.
Love it.
Just realized I was
love
on the wrong microphone all night long.
That's all right. We can hear you just fine. But look at how cool the base is alone.
I know you get those if you buy all three. You get two of those, I think.
I would assume.
So if there's no logical reason I should order this, but I can't guarantee I won't because it's freaking driving me crazy.
Can someone say live pre-order?
Oh,
It ain't up for pre-order.
I know. But when it is, no pressure. I think the gray one's awesome.
The
Yep.
gray one is awesome.
I love the colors on him. This photo is it. So this is the Queen Studios Hulkbuster versus the Exib Studios Hulkbuster. Look at this insanity here.
that's insane. Yeah, that's crazy.
It's so big. This one right here is up for Statue of the Year for sure. Just crazy the difference in height and size and crazy, right?
So you think it's overscale or the other one was underscale?
I don't know. Well,
Well, the XM's kind of kneeling.
and that's a comic book one, right?
Yeah.
So it's comic versus movie.
Okay.
So that could be part of it. But still, big difference.
Yeah.
I've got some in-hand photos of the Nightcrawler from Sideshow, and I think it looks great.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Harbottle did a great job on this one.
I feel like they got this one out of the gate pretty quickly too.
Everyone's really happy. There's this seam in that base that is not very good, but right there. But
Right there.
overall, people are really thrilled with this piece. The colors, that portrait, the pose, everyone really likes it.
Yeah, it looks good. This is that new stealth Captain America from Queen.
Can't wait.
Again, the likeness looks incredible.
Bring it on.
Price point was good on this one too, right?
Yep.
It's like 610 or something like that.
Yeah, not bad.
I really like it. I can't wait to get it.
Yeah, it looks great. Here's the Linda Carter we were talking about earlier. This is from our friend Sirius or Derek. In the daytime, I think the paint looks better in the daytime, obviously, than some of the other photos I've seen. But to me, that looks very similar to what we saw in the prototype. I know some people disagree.
I think that the skin texture is a lot flatter and less lifelike than we had in the proto.
That could be.
Yeah.
Love the cape. It's a beautiful statue. So anyway, she is shipping right now.
Yeah. This is one I need to see in person.
Yeah, I would like to see it in person too. But I like the sculpt. There's some better pictures of her. See, I think that looks good right there to me. But I know it's not perfect. This kind of came out of the blue. This is a black version of Dark Knight's Metal Superman. I don't know how many people asked for this. But it's got some new portraits.
I like the portraits.
Yeah, I do too. You got this one right here with the beard. I think that's my favorite. You got a Rage one.
But when it came out, I thought, don't they have more important things to do?
Exactly. Yeah, I was real surprised they went with this one.
And
But if they got extra sitting in the warehouse, why not paint it different and market it different?
I think that the colored version hasn't even shipped yet, right? Or something.
It has shipped.
Oh, it has.
Yep, it's shipping now. So anyway, that's available right now as well. I thought this was an interesting photo, just to compare the Justice Buster Batman next to another quarter scale piece. So if you're looking for size, he feels like he might be a little bit small.
Yep, I almost bought him, and then I thought that he looked a little small, and that's why.
Yeah, I mean, because Huntress is not a very big premium format.
I think it's just the base. I think it works though. I mean, it doesn't work. He should be a little bit. No, I don't know. I think it's just the base though.
I just feel like he should be a little bit bigger, but maybe it could be the base.
Like if you look at the proportions, like the head against the head and the body against the body, he looks like he's in scale.
It's close.
Yeah,
it's close.
And that, you know, in that Batman, I mean that package is fully protected.
Sorry, I just got what you meant by that. Like, I thought you were like the styrofoam. Like, no,
he's not talking about the brown chipper.
You're talking about the package.
There is no worry of any damage to that area of the anatomy.
If you kick him there, you have a broken foot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Calling it the bat chastity.
That's hilarious. The bat chassis. Oh my God.
And I agree with Ryan in the chat. I don't like the cape on this piece. It looks,
yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't look great.
Cheap.
Yep.
I think that's the word you're looking for.
Yep.
Yep. This is 1/10 scale Joker. He has started to ship. I think it looks okay for 1/10. That doesn't look very good to me.
Yikes.
Yeah, I feel like the paint's not very good on this at all.
The others were pretty decent. Not that one though.
Like that one's not bad, but this one, I don't know. It's 1/10. I have to remember it's 1/10. But still, you're paying like $150 for this.
And those are really small.
Very small. So anyway, some in hand there. Here's your Zatanna.
I haven't seen many photos of people getting this yet. I think maybe I saw one person.
I think she looks good. I'm not very sold on this guy with the
This is
paint.
the one I canceled.
Detective Chimp.
Oh, you did cancel it.
Yeah, which makes me wonder, like, oh, would have I have liked it in person? So
that looks okay better there.
Yeah.
I think the portrait looks nice. I like that portrait.
Well,
So
since I canceled it, I guess I don't think I've ever fully loved the portrait. I think I was just buying it just to have her at the time.
Could be.
I still like the prime. I know it's a different scale, but I still like prime ones as Zatanna.
Some really great detail on the bodice and stuff. I think the figure itself looks good. I think she turned out pretty nice. That looks good to me. So obviously she started to ship in Asia. I think the eyes could be better.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're a little wonky.
I mean, I love the statue. It's just the portrait. It's a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't like it too much.
I still love Sideshows.
Yeah, it's great.
I think she just looks very pretty.
I do too. This is the new Black Widow coming home to the Sanctuary.
Yeah, I have no idea when.
Well, she must be starting to ship. Actually, she is.
Working it
I
out.
was going to say I've got a guest review coming on the channel here any day now.
Is it from someone in the U.S. or?
I'll have to go back and check. I can't remember where they're from.
Yeah, I know some Asian collectors have got her, but I don't know about anybody in North America.
So are they doing both at the same time, like the white version too? Are they?
As far
both?
as I know, yeah.
Yep. I think that looks really good right there. So anyway, hopefully you'll get her soon.
Yeah.
XM has unveiled their what's this guy called?
Devastator.
Yeah.
Devastator. I think it's gonna be real hard to compete against the Prime One piece.
Bruce Wayne injected himself with the Doomsday.
Why did he do
strain
that?
or whatever?
Yeah,
so
that's
he
not
fight,
very
so he
smart.
could fight Superman.
Yeah, not very smart.
Just a bad day at the office.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think of this one?
He had a plan to take down Superman. I think it looks awesome. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks really cool.
We get this, but we don't get a Solomon Grundy.
Yeah, I was just thinking it almost kind of has like the same vibe to it. Like,
It does. Good texturing on it. I like the paint work.
You know, all of these together from both companies are going to look really cool. That's the thing. I
Yeah,
mean,
knowing that you're getting all of them.
they're
base
the
looks pretty good.
collective of them.
The colors.
I love the rock coming off his hand. I think that's cool.
Yep.
So some nice texturing.
It doesn't look like they skimped out on the base colors. It looks like they actually put some thought into like painting the base.
Yeah. I think the details on him are really cool. I don't know how popular this character is, but I think he looks cool. This one we saw teased a while ago. This one's now up for pre-order. This one's from PCS, and I don't know anything about this, but I know some people were excited about it.
It's the G.I. Joe piece.
Okay.
They had them at
is
one
more-
year con, I believe. Or was it San Diego?
Yeah, it's Mortal Kombat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
we
Mortal
saw them in
Kombat.
San Diego.
Yeah, oh, that's right. It was there. Was it just the prototype though?
I don't know.
Like the unpainted? I can't remember.
No. It was painted. It looked really
Okay.
good.
I don't even remember it now. But it's got some cool
If you were
details to it.
looking at was it Michelangelo they had there?
Oh yeah.
If you were looking at Michelangelo and you turn 90 degrees to the right, you would have been looking at this piece.
Yep. Now I remember. So anyway, that one's up for pre-order now, and I know some people are excited about this one. If you're a Mortal Kombat fan, it's got this really cool purple effect.
Yeah,
think
Kind of like Silver Surfer almost
Yeah.
with the paint. I threw in this art print, Batman the Animated Series 30th anniversary. Cool art print. So this was kind of out of the blue. Little Tila variant. What do you think, Mr. Delaney?
Yeah.
You bastard.
I know. You knew that was coming.
My initial reaction was, why?
Oh, yeah.
And then I jumped on Statue Forum, and the response was extremely positive.
That's great.
So I still question why they're doing 1,000 of them.
Ooh, that's a lot.
But she's pretty. And, you know, she did appear with the blonde hair, apparently, in the mini comic or something like that. So what the heck? Go
So
for
you
it.
can see the paint's a little bit different. Her gold's a little bit brighter. You know, she's all top heavy gold here, and it's just a swirl here. So there is a little bit of sculpt difference in the way it's painted.
Sword is different.
Yep. The base is, as far as I could tell, the same. Although maybe the paint's a little bit darker. But it's cool to see them side by side. I think they both look really great.
Yeah.
So it just kind of depends on whatever version you want. But that's all. That is shipping now, actually.
Yeah, it was like one of those variant releases for Spooktacular that ships immediately.
Yep, ships immediately. So that's pretty cool.
like I said.
So anyway, congratulations to anybody picking this one up. This one is massive. This is quarter scale from Iron Studios.
Mm-hmm.
Gladiator Hulk. I think he looks okay. It's not my favorite, but it looks okay.
I saw him at D23, and yeah, he looks cool, but I thought, you know, if you're going to make a Gladiator Hulk, why are you making him look like someone stole his lunch money?
Yeah, he looks like. Oh man, I don't get my milk today.
Yeah, he should be totally enraged here. He should be every muscle flexing, you know.
Yeah.
Well, then somebody threw the milk at him and it's dripping down his chest.
He's just standing there. I don't understand why they chose that pose.
Yeah, you would think that he would have some sort of rage to him.
Mm-hmm.
But it's got some nice texturing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I think it's a kind of a weird pose. But anyway, that one's coming out from Iron Studios. Again, quarter scale, so it's going to be a big piece.
Yeah, it was pretty tall.
This one we saw at San Diego. This one is just now up for pre-order. This is the Evil Queen, another fun piece. I really like the magic mirror.
They're going to sell a gazillion of these.
Yeah, I would assume. I don't think this one is as good as Red Riding Hood, but I think it's still a really fun piece.
I think people like it, and I think that they were expecting it to even be a little more expensive than it is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm having a hard time not ordering that. To me, this is my favorite in the series.
I think it's great. I mean, it's kind of sexy too. It's like real sheer.
Zoom in on her eyes.
Oh,
Her eyes.
oh, sorry, her eyes. Let me see if I've got a better photo of it. Let's see. Oh, there we go.
It's just the eyes are awesome. That's what
Yeah, they are really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, you can't beat that.
Yeah, she's beautiful. I love this J. Scott Campbell series. It's just been really, really good. Look at the evilness swooping up through the base.
Yeah, that's cool.
Again, it's all sheer. I don't know. It's very, very sexy. We'll move on to Green Goblin. This is for our hot toy collectors. This one I just thought was so much fun. Like, look at that portrait.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Isn't that great? How many Joker conversions are there going to be?
I've already seen people do renders of it
with a little bit of Photoshop magic.
Yeah.
But isn't that great?
That is.
Look, he's got a green eyebrow.
I was going to say it's already hinting at the Joker right there. I was like, I love it.
Was that just the lighting, or does he really have a green eyebrow? It was just the lighting.
No, it was just the lighting.
Just the lighting reflecting. Yeah,
just the lighting. He didn't have green. But his suit is green.
I love that movie.
And that concludes our photos for this week.
Woohoo.
Some great stuff.
Really good stuff. Yeah, and there were more photos than I think normal, just because we didn't do them last week for the auction. But anyway, lots of really good stuff. Anything you guys have to pre-order from what we saw? Anything? Obviously, Dan and I did. We pre-ordered the.
Yep.
And I am going to be pre-ordering the Catwoman as well. So,
nice.
That's another one on my list that I will do at some point. So, anything else? Anything else you guys?
Temptations.
Evil Queen.
Evil Queen. Okay, Evil Queen. How about you, Jeff Morris? Anything? I'm sure you're chomping at the bit to get something here soon.
I'd like to have one of the Catwoman, but I would like to have the Prime 1 because I have other Prime 1s, but I feel like it's a need to wait and see it.
Right. Well, I don't think you're in any hurry. I think you have the opportunity to wait.
You know, if you get that cat or not.
Yep. But it looks great.
Yep.
So anyway, anything else you guys want to talk about before we wrap up? I know we've gone, sorry guys, we've gone almost 3 hours tonight.
No, I have Rebel Terminator coming tomorrow.
Nice.
That's awesome. That's
tomorrow,
fantastic.
nice.
You found her?
I found her. It's a weird story. The guy found her in a thrift shop.
That's crazy, right?
And he didn't buy her. And he came home and he posted on Facebook in one of the statue, because he's a statue collector, in one of the statue groups, and said, "Hey, should I get this? I could buy it as trade bait or something." And everybody went, "Oh my God, that sells for over $1,000 on eBay." So he went back the next morning and bought it. And so we worked out a fair price. And he sent me like 40 pictures. So it looks nice.
Wow, that's awesome.
We'll see
That's
how
insane.
That's so great.
So he probably got it for a song, but that's okay.
Well, hey, that's what this community is all about. You know, trying to help each other out, find statues for each other, and all that stuff, or using each other's links.
Something like that in a thrift shop.
There was another one too. I can't remember what the other one was, but it wasn't as exciting as this one. But I'll have that review out pretty quick.
That's great. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, anyway, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Still have 160 of you here. I want to thank Daniel Bell again. I want to thank Sideshow and Anna at Sideshow for letting that interview happen. It's just very, very exciting. So we've got a lot of good stuff coming up for the channel. Definitely stay tuned to Secret Sanctuary as well. Check out All Things Art for Eric and all his shenanigans over there. And I feel like you're getting quite a following over there, Eric. So that's exciting.
Yeah, I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers.
Awesome.
So looking forward
That's
to
awesome.
it. Yeah.
That's a great, great milestone. I'll never forget my first 1,000. It's just always just mind blowing that so many people are out there, enjoy the content, and keep up the good work. Both you and Jeff and Dan, have a wonderful evening. Jeff, have a wonderful evening. And again, thanks for pre-ordering with me. That was a lot of fun.
That was awesome.
Finally got it to work, so that's good. But anyway, thanks everybody for watching. I really appreciate it. Please like the button or smash that like button on your way out. Really appreciate it. And I would assume, hopefully, fingers crossed, I did email John at Prime One Studio and said, "Hey, John, what's the deal? When is the next level event?" And he said, "It's coming soon." So that's all I got from him. I didn't get a date, but I cannot wait to do a live reaction to that show, and hopefully that'll be here real soon. So anyway, stay tuned to the channel. Also, we'll be celebrating our anniversary this month here on the channel. So that, and also, again, if you haven't already clicked, please, after the show, please click the link in the pinned description and vote for the Batsy Awards. I want as many people voting as possible, and I can't wait to do that show. So anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. Have a great night, and we'll see you in the Batcave. Good night, everybody.
Good night, all.
Thanks
Good
for
night.
watching.